Test.
And welcome to Punch Drunk Sports, where winners win. A special Monday edition because apparently some dude named Bill Burr is taking our studio time.
Not true. It's magical.
Magical is. Oh,
Yeah.
that's even worse.
Makes sense.
I'm going to give that a thumbs down.
Thumbs down. Thibault's new thing is he's giving thumbs up, thumbs down in real life.
Yep.
I like that.
I'm
Guys,
liking and disliking your status live.
Low tech.
very excited about having our guest in. He is joining us via the power of Skype on the SeatGeek Celebrity Hotline. That's right, SeatGeek. For all your ticketing needs, you go to SeatGeek, use the promo code PUNCHDRUNK, and you can get all sorts of tickets you want. All the tickets you want ever in the world, you can get them.
And you get $20 off with the code.
$20 off for tickets?
That makes Sam's voice sound like that.
Guys, you can go see Bill Burr at the Forum.
Yep.
We're using SeatGeek. We're all going to buy him here. We're going to go see him, support, and yell and scream.
And you don't even have to be mad at him for bumping us because he didn't. Al Madrigal did.
I just bought 2 tickets thanks to SeatGeek. Our good friends at SeatGeek, they are always with us.
NBA playoff tickets, baseball
You
tickets.
can go see the Dodgers today for $11.
$11! Get out of here. That's
Two tickets.
robbery.
2 tickets will cost you $2 with our code.
God dang it, man. Go get it. Go to SeatGeek. Get those things now. But joining us via the power of Skype, he was an NBA player, played in an NBA Finals. He went to Kansas. I want to hear all about it. Please, he's got a podcast called Planet Pollard. Please welcome Scot Pollard, everybody.
Hey.
What's up, everybody?
What's up, brother? What's up?
What's up, dude?
Not a standing O, just a sitting O.
Dude, we're old, bro.
I mean, we didn't say you are in the NBA.
Scott, I don't know if you know this, but we only have white guys from the NBA on this show, so we appreciate you fit that.
We had a black guy from the NBA.
When did we have a black guy?
What's the guy played for the Celtics? Your buddy. He was really funny. Derek something.
Scalabrine?
No, he never played it. He never made it.
Oh, really?
That's why he hates all the NBA players, because he never made it.
Well, that's why you asked him to borrow money.
Scott, can you tell us a little about your podcast, where they can find it?
Planet Pollard Podcast. We're on iTunes. We're on SoundCloud. And it's hosted by the Pros Club. You can go to theprosclub.com, and I think you can download them from there, too. But it's my podcast is basically whatever I want to talk about. I've interviewed Hall of Famer Ray Allen.
Love
I've had,
him.
Survivor contestants on because I was on that TV show Survivor.
Yeah.
So I've had episodes where it's just me ranting for about a half hour, but I keep them short. I keep them listener friendly so people can listen to them on a commute. If you got a 15-minute commute,
How long have you been doing it?
Half of it on the way to work and half on the way back, and then you're done with me.
So it's like a half an hour?
Yeah, typically they're about a half hour. 40 minutes, I think, is my long one, just because about half of them is just me talking the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And I know people get sick of just hearing me.
I
You
love
guys do it
hearing
right.
you,
You
dude.
got 3 people to break up the monotony of one voice.
I love it, dude. Are you going to ever have Kurt Heinrich on? I'd love to find out what's going on with that guy's life.
I would love to find out what's going on with that guy's life. I don't know. Those Iowa guys, they're weird, except Nick Collison. He's cool.
Nick
But
Collison.
Rafe LaFrance, I played with back in Kansas. I think he's just busy buying up chunks of Iowa.
Really?
I think they renamed it La Francia. Yeah.
I think you could probably buy a chunk of Iowa on Groupon. We should get sponsored by Groupon. That's
get
how much
sponsored
they're
by
just
Iowa.
giving away Iowa.
Roy Williams could recruit white guys, could he not? I mean,
Yeah, he
Jesus
could.
Christ.
He could.
I had some of the best white guys on the planet.
He had to go west in the Midwest. He couldn't go east. He had a little deal with Dean Smith, so that was why he got so many
interesting.
guys from
really?
California and the Midwest.
Wow, no kidding. Okay.
How legal is that?
I think it was just a gentleman's agreement. It's
I
totally
understand.
legal. It's like, hey, you guys take the East Coast, we'll take the Midwest, and don't mess. And I'm sure that there was occasionally a player that was from one of those areas.
Yeah.
But in general, they kind of stayed away from each other's territory out of respect for each other.
That's fascinating.
That is fascinating. You didn't really ever think about that. I mean, you knew certain people recruited in certain areas heavily. Even when you look at football, that's quite common. But you didn't really think about having these gentleman agreements of like, hey, stay out of fucking, Connecticut or whatever the fuck.
Hey, Scott, did he bring up Coach Smith a lot? Dean Smith, is that?
A lot, yeah. That was his mentor.
Yeah. Okay.
And he a lot of what he learned from Coach Smith, and a lot of what Coach Smith learned, he learned from Fog Allen at Kansas. So it's the coaching tree is it's a fascinating historical document if you put it on paper. Just when you start talking to coaches and who they were influenced by, it's not a giant family tree. Almost everybody in coaching has worked with each other at some point, or
It's very
they learned from the
incestuous.
same person.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Did you ever have a coach throughout your entire career where you were just like, man, I just do not, I got to get out of this situation? Like you just didn't gel.
My rookie year in Detroit,
Yeah.
Doug Collins was our coach.
No way.
Oh yeah, you remember that?
I do remember that.
Yeah.
And he got somebody.
He
Go on.
got fired halfway through my rookie year. It wasn't going well,
And then-
and I didn't miss him.
Who took over for
I
him?
like Doug as a person. What?
Who took over for him?
Alvin Gentry, the
That's-
official
yep,
guy that
that's
takes
right.
over for everybody.
Yeah.
He has been associate head coach for every team in the league, I think 3 times.
He's like the Rodney Pete of quarterbacks.
Yeah, he
Rodney
really-
Pete was the backup for like 5 different teams on the same year and wound up starting for all 5 of them.
That's right.
He was always a backup that took over someone's gig.
Hey, so let's get into your playing career. For those who do not know you, Scott, now did you guys go? Did you guys go to a championship game in the NCAA tournament?
No, I got to the Final 8 my junior year and Sweet 16 the other 3 years. And that was as close as we got.
Well, that was back when
My senior year,
that was back when Roy Williams still kind of had that albatross around his neck, right? That he couldn't break through in the Final Four.
Well, when you can only
That is
recruit
correct.
part of the country and you can't go for everybody,
Well, I
it's
just
a little
think, yeah.
harder.
I mean, I just think they had some bad luck a couple of those years, matchups and stuff.
I love how Johnny refuses to admit that might affect it because North Carolina got all the recruits that Roy wasn't allowed to go after.
Yeah, but imagine back then if you're like, like Western Michigan or some small school, all the big coaches are like, look, you can recruit in Alaska and the Netherlands, and that's it. Get out of here, kid. Kick rocks. Thumbs down, everybody. Thumbs down.
So what was your
well, Dean didn't go to California, so
Yeah.
that's a big group over
That is a
there.
big group.
Texas, he didn't get guys out there. So
Yep.
They split up the country, but they weren't missing out on recruits. It was just Roy had really good teams. I had really good teams there. My senior year, we were #1 from start to finish, and we only had 1 loss going into the tournament. We were the best team in the country by far, and maybe one of the best Kansas teams ever. I'm not tooting my own horn. I played with Paul Pierce, Rafe LaFrance, Jock Vaughn, Jared Haas.
Wow.
that was a great
These
team.
were all
yeah.
phenomenal college basketball players. So
Who knocked you out
it
at the
was a good
tourney?
team.
Who knocked you guys out?
Arizona, they ended up winning it our senior year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And,
Oh, that was
I ended up
Myles
playing with Mike
Simon.
Bibby later on. And
Bibby.
What?
That was Myles Simons, Mike Bibby. There was one more guy on that team that was pretty.
Jason
freaking-
Terry was on the team. He didn't play a whole lot that year, but he was on that team.
That's how deep
And,
that team was.
They were just they got hot. They weren't even that great in the regular season. Mike Bibby even told me when we were teammates later on the Sacramento Kings, he was like, "Look, we weren't that great. We didn't win the Pac-10. It was the Pac-10 back then." And they caught fire, and they just didn't miss in the tournament, and they knocked us out.
They also beat North Carolina and Kentucky that year, right? That was the year that they beat.
It's possible. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
I think
I
so.
just
They
remember
beat three.
us and
They
broke
beat
my
3
heart.
#1 seeds.
That was a lot of cream in that coffee. That was the beginning of future teams where all light-skinned brothers just whooping ass on everybody, right? Everybody on that team is light-skinned, dude. So you go now. Real quick about your college years. What made you pick Kansas? Like for me, it's like you hear all these like recruiting scandals and Louisville and then all football scandals. Like what made you pick Kansas? And did you get any of that hot sauce thrown in there, like the ladies or a little cash and a car on the side? Did you get the good stuff?
I got nothing. I got offers from other schools, and actually, my sister told me a story. After I retired from the NBA, I got recruited in 1991 and 92.
Good years.
Heavily. I mean, it started before then, but I mean, I signed in 1992 with Kansas. But I was getting recruited by everybody. I was a pretty high ranked prospect, so I got a lot of attention. And my sister told me after I retired from the NBA in 2008. She said, there was a school that the assistant coach called me and said, she lived in La Jolla at the time and, had a job, but wasn't doing great, and they said she had a $2 million shopping limit for houses in La Jolla.
Holy
So
shit!
she could just go buy a house up to $2 million. They'd
What?
give her a job, but I had to go to that school.
Holy shit!
And she never told me. until I retired from the NBA. I was like, man, I would have taken that.
Yeah. Oh,
How great!
I
How
can't
cool is
imagine
she?
what a $2 million house in 1992 would be worth right now
my
in La
God.
Jolla, California.
I know you.
It's a very expensive area.
I know you can't say what the name of the school is, but does it rhyme with USC?
It was not USC. They didn't recruit me very hard. George Raveling actually was there still, and he coached my oldest brother and figured I wouldn't ever go play for him, and he was right.
Actually, if it's down in La Jolla, it probably rhymes with Man Diego State.
yeah. Wow, $2 million though.
They took a shot at me too. I canceled one trip. I was going to go to LSU because the rumor was that Dale Brown, he was the coach at the time. He coached Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
The rumor was that he was throwing big money around, and so I was taking a trip to LSU just to see what he would offer me in person.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up committing to Kansas, and I canceled my trip to LSU. So I never got to hear what the preacher man was offering. But to your point about the hot sauce, the other stuff, I was on my trip to UCLA, and they took me to a party, and it just wasn't my scene.
Yeah.
It wasn't the right place for me to be. And I grew up Mormon, so I wasn't a real party kid. I didn't drink until I was 21, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't a party kid. I was just, kind of innocent as a kid. And so it just wasn't my scene. And I really wanted to go to UCLA. That was close to home. It was a blue blood school.
Right.
And I really wanted to go there, but it wasn't the right fit for me. The coach and I didn't get along.
Who was coaching then at the time?
Very well. It was Jim Herrick, and he was kind of touting that he was Mormon. But then we went back to his house, and there was coffee and alcohol everywhere. And he was drinking coffee, and I was like, "Hey, I don't care if you're not Mormon. Don't tell me you are." And then you do stuff that's clearly Mormons don't do. So anyway,
are you Jack Mormon now? Because I grew up in Vegas. I found what Jack Mormon was. Oh, I didn't go. I went to college there, and I always loved the girls who were Jack Mormon. They were like, "We're Mormon, but we ain't afraid to put a little hot sauce on it." You know what I'm saying? I'm not a Jack Mormon. I just don't go to church anymore. Right.
So I don't know what that's called. My family calls me an inactive member.
I respect that.
But I haven't. Huh?
When did you realize that you had a shot at the NBA? I'm sure when you're a big recruit, you're going, I'm going pro. But when did you realize that there was actually a chance that you could go pro?
At the end of my senior year, when my coach called me in and said, "All right, I'm going to let you interview 4 agents and that I tolerate." He said, "They're all dirt, but I'll let you interview these 4." And that was when it became real to me. It had always been a dream of mine. It was always something I wanted to do, and I worked my entire childhood and young adulthood to do. But I never really was like, this is going to happen. Until I started interviewing agents, and then they started telling me that where I was going to get picked. They were like, "You're going to get picked in the first round." And I was like, "No," and they're like, "No, yeah, you are," and I did.
All 4 of them said that. What made you decide?
All 4 of them said that, but only one of them I believed.
Between the 4,
that's why I picked Kansas was Roy Williams.
Right.
To answer your question, Arizona took me to a party, and I committed to Arizona based on that party.
What was better about the Arizona party? What was
my seed.
What was so great about it?
Have you been to Arizona?
No, I know, but he was also. Have you been to UCLA? The UCLA party wasn't his scene, but there was something at the Arizona that was. I'm saying, what's the difference between the two?
A lot of Mormons.
Duffel bags full of money, maybe.
I'm married to a 6-foot-tall girl with brown skin and long black hair.
I respect that. I
Me
respect
too.
that.
Arizona.
Yeah.
Arizona.
Hell yeah.
I'm in on that.
It's funny.
Sorry, I lost you.
It's fine.
And he's back. Welcome back to the show.
He got engaged at the Arizona party, but then decommitted and went to Kansas and had a long-distance marriage for 4 years.
No, I didn't meet her in Arizona. But yes, basically everyone at that party looked like the woman I ended up marrying. So, yeah, it was a good party. But then I picked Roy Williams because I knew he was going to be there my whole career. And I knew that whether I played every minute of every game or I didn't play at all, I would respect his decisions and his decision-making. All 4 of my brothers and my sister got recruited to play basketball. All 4 of my brothers played Division I basketball. My dad played Division I basketball and played semi-pro. So I had that experience in front of me, and I got to learn from them and their experiences in college.
Wow.
And that. So that was part of my education, that I just knew how to look through some of this recruiting stuff that just wasn't important to me. certain college, like the only college I know that was a big time college that didn't recruit me was Indiana. And it was because Bobby Knight just knew my family was Mormon, and he was just like, "There's no way this kid's gonna come here." I cuss like the wind blows, you know. So he just didn't even bother.
Yes, he does.
Other than that, I got and that's fine. And he didn't know I would have dealt with that just fine. It doesn't bother me. I cuss like a sailor myself. But yeah, that's when I knew I was going pro. Was not until the end of my college career. You know, it was like when it was very similar to when I was getting recruited. Because I always was on good high school teams, and recruits were coming to watch people I was playing with or against. And then all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, well, this guy's really good. We came here to watch him, but that guy's good. We want him." And that happened in college as well with the NBA scouts. The NBA scouts were coming to watch Paul Pierce and Rafe LaFrance, Jock Vaughn, and Jared Hess, and I'm the fifth option. And then all of a sudden, my senior year, I started kicking people's butts, and they were like, "Wow, this kid's actually going to be an NBA player." So,
is there any dirt you can give us on? Is there any dirt you can give us on Coach K? Did he recruit you at all? Did he slide any duffel bags? Anything at all? Krzyzewski?
He recruited me very briefly. I thought about Duke.
Thank God.
But it
Thank God you didn't.
Became that it was just too far away from home.
Yeah.
Now, Coach K gets all the recruits. I mean, we all know John Wooden played a dirty game. Let's just say that John Wooden didn't actively engage in it, but he knew that boosters were doing it. So it's like he knew, but he didn't know, and he later talked about how he somewhat regretted that. Now, Coach K is like, just except for your boy, who now is who's the second best recruit in this class coming in. But at one point, he had the top three guys, which has never been heard of before. How do you get the top three when you're going right to the pros? And it's just a truck stop.
Also, they're the same position.
In and year out.
I mean, it's crazy. They're all 6'7" wings. It doesn't make sense.
Well, you, in the climate of the top 25 and these programs you're talking about, you have to recruit on top of each other. You have to, and the players nowadays have to know that. They have to know that there's going to be 3 or 4 guys in their position, and that one of them might be there for 4 years and one of them might be there for 6 months. And as soon as basketball's over, they're done. And so I think that the kids that get recruited by those programs, they're told certain things that obviously get them to go to those programs, despite what you guys are mentioning, which is getting guys in your position. There's boosters on the side. There's always. I made a movie about it actually.
Ooh, really?
Called The Prophet. Yeah.
With an F or a PH?
It's Prophet. Profit.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
I like that.
Yeah, but it's a play on words because it's loosely based on my life and the Mormon thing. So the prophet.
Very cool. Yeah.
Like a religious prophet.
Got it.
But
who'd you feel you had to explain that to? Which one of us you feel you had to explain that to? Was it Thibault? Was it T?
Yeah.
Or was it like my son? Which one? Because you know I got that right off the bat.
Shit.
I don't even think you heard what he said.
But yeah, the dirt is there. There's always people cheating. There's always people getting around the rules.
Hey, Scott. We like to talk about how to solve this whole thing. This is something we argue about a lot, me and Sam. What's this optimal solution? Would you say for both the players and the NBA to the whole? I mean, getting rid of the one and done's probably got to happen, right? But
I think it's stupid.
What's the solution?
I think you should pay them.
The solution. You think what?
I think they should. I crunched the numbers. It would cost $180 million to play every single D1 player $30,000 a year. Now, that sounds like a lot until you realize that they've signed a deal just in TV rights, the NCAA, of $1 billion a year. That doesn't include merch, or any of that stuff.
Yeah, they're raking in money.
Yeah.
And also, if you are paying them now you can put their names on their jerseys and sell their fucking jerseys. They already do.
Yeah.
They just can't put their names on it. You'll sell more jerseys with the names on the back.
They're going to fuck themselves, man. They're going to fuck themselves, and this G League's going to come and steal all the talent.
Good.
Yeah. It'll serve the NCAA right. The way that the NBA can solve the one and done problem, and then I'll get to the NCAA paying players thing. But the way that the NBA can solve all of the one and done mentality, and actually what would be the best result for most of these kids' lives, because their lives get ruined. Most of them, not all of them, but most of them get their lives ruined because they get told by some crappy agent, oh, you're good enough. They end up overseas for a year or two. Their career's over. They don't have a college degree, and then they're broke, and they have no talent, and then they have nothing to do, and they wind up on the street. So this would save lives and save people's education and have kids more interested in school. Here it is. The draft age is 21, unless every lottery team agrees that if you're available, they have to take you.
Oh. I like that.
Every lottery team signs
it's a guarantee.
You,
it's an insurance policy.
NBA draft.
It's an insurance policy for you leaving your education.
Exactly. And it's an insurance policy for the NBA teams that they don't have to scramble and gamble on every single kid that leaves after 1 year, whether they're good or not. And they wait 4 years for them to develop, and they still suck.
Right.
Yeah.
It's going to make the NBA better because you're going to get 21-year-old men, and like you used to most of the time. And then it's also going to save a bunch of kids' lives because only 14, or what is it, 13 or 14? I'm embarrassed to admit I don't even know how many lottery teams there are. But whatever.
They're 15, right? I think there's 30. It's either 16, because 16 teams don't make the finals. I mean, make the playoffs.
Postseason.
The playoffs. Yeah. Well, okay. So whatever number of lottery teams, if they all have to sign off, it puts pressure on them to know, okay, yeah, I'm actually going to do this. So they have to make the commitment too. So it's a double edge that makes everybody accountable. And if all of those teams sign off that if that kid's available and they want him, they have to take him, and they're required to. That is the only way that the best players are going to get paid. You'll get LeBrons, you'll get Kobe's, you'll get the players that deserve to be able to leave right after high school and are ready to become impact players. But it's going to save a whole bunch of kids' lives and careers by forcing them to think, you know what, there's no way I'm going to be one of those 16 kids, so I better stay in school. Because what happens is a lot of those kids that go for 1 year, they stop going to school in spring.
Yeah.
They're not even eligible to go back to school in the fall anyway. Even if they wanted to and they don't get drafted, they don't even go to class in the springtime, so they're ineligible to play basketball next fall.
Hey, Scott.
That's the problem.
I didn't think about that.
Hey, Scott, do you think there are some people, though, that are just not meant to go to college? Like, what would you have, like a minor league, like the G League maybe for those kinds of kids? I mean, not everybody's.
Well, absolutely. I mean, and here's how you get around that.
Sounds like they're not.
That's weaved into my NCAA and fix-it thing. You pay the players. And that's going to solve a lot of those kids that are like, well, I don't want to go to college. Because I was one of those kids that I was broke. We were on government assistance. My dad had died when I was 16 years old. Mm-hmm. I didn't have any money, and I would have loved to have some money to go to college.
Yeah.
And I got Pell Grants because if it wasn't for basketball, I never would have gone to college. So I knew I had to take care of business. But yes, I understand there's a lot of kids that college isn't their thing. Whether they can play basketball or football or whatever, it's still not their thing. So how you do that is you abolish the NCAA. The top 64 schools form their own league. They form their own tournament. They have their own football brackets, and they have 4 super conferences, and those teams play each other, and then that's the best of the best playing against each other. You know how big their TV contracts will be?
Oh, geez.
Plenty to pay those players.
I also believe
it is like a semi-pro league, and you know, if they go to school, great, and they want to get a degree, great. If not, they don't have to go to school.
Quick question.
They're a semi-professional athlete anyway.
Is UNLV in that top 64? Is UNLV?
If they get their football program together, maybe.
Well, we're going to get some quality black athletes once we get this Raiders stadium. I promise you that. We're going to get quality black athletes.
I know Ball State's not in that conversation.
Yeah, sorry about that, team.
That's what you lose, though, right? If you do that, you lose kind of the magic of the Cinderella in March.
I don't necessarily think you need to get rid of them.
No.
I mean, I personally believe that there should be like a hybrid. We've talked about it on the Patreon where, like, I can draft this kid. I don't think, like, Scott went into the league after 4 years. His body was built for a banging, dude.
Yeah.
Now these kids go in how many of these top recruits get these injuries that they're out for like giant chunks of their rookie year?
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, even Chris Paul. Look at Chris Paul. If he walked in, he'd be shorter than Thibault. But man, the guy's built like a brick shithouse, and he's grinding you every night, dude. It's not football, I get that, but it is a grown man sport,
Oh, for sure.
and you're getting beat down by the most genetic super freak players in the world, in my opinion, are NBA basketball players, and you're getting beat down by grown ass men. It's kind of like in comedy. We're all in comedians here, right? You have people like Taylor Tomlinson or this new kid Cam. But Bernard is his name. He's 24, right? He's got all the skills in the world. He's got the skills of me and Thibault. But you throw him in a show with us, he's going to barely survive because he doesn't have the experience as much. And that's the thing about the NBA. They want Lonzo Ball to change the Lakers. Right. He's got the skill of everybody else. He doesn't have the experience to do it yet.
Yeah, to Sam's point, let me ask you this, Scott. What would have happened to your career or your body had you gone pro after your sophomore year and not your senior year?
I wouldn't have been ready. I was still getting strong. You nailed it right there. It is a grown man sport. Even my rookie year, I'm matching up against Patrick Ewing, one of my childhood idols.
I love him.
Are you kidding me?
He's
I get to guard Patrick.
How surreal was that? How surreal was that for you? Your first NBA game, and there's Patrick Ewing.
It was a welcome to the NBA moment. There was a lot of them. I mean, it was really cool when I got drafted by Detroit because some of the bad boys were there. Joe Dumars was there.
Yeah.
Rick Mahorn was there, and I learned a lot from Rick Mahorn. Rick and I are still friends. But there's a lot of those welcome to the NBA moments. But when I'm guarding Patrick Ewing, I'm sitting there going, damn, I'm here. I made it. I'm in the NBA, man. It was cool. And the biggest thing rookies have to do is get over that real quick, or you just get smoked because you're not ready to play.
Yeah.
When you
can't be starstruck.
Ready to get beat up. I was running circles around everybody in training camp because I was in great shape, I thought. Then they're like, hey, Rook, slow down. It's a long season.
60 games later.
My ass was tired.
60 games later, when
we're in every city every other day.
In college, you only play what?
A train, an automobile.
28.
Worn out.
Yeah, I mean, you're playing 3 times what your body's used to.
When you were guarding Ewing, were you like, my God, this man sweats? Were you like that? Was he just like a slip and slide? That dude, layup drills was a rainforest.
Yeah, who had the worst BO? Every time you guarded somebody, who were you like, ugh?
BO and Vlade Divac. All the foreign guys.
Oh, the guy who smokes cigarettes?
It's true.
It's amazing, that Vlade, who's known for flopping. No wonder he's flopping. Everybody's knocking him down. Like, get away, you stinky bastard.
Now, Dennis Rodman was interesting because they said that he didn't wear a cup, and when he posted you up, he was like grinding on you. Is there any truth to that?
God, I don't know. I don't think anybody wore cups. I don't know anybody that wore a cup in the NBA.
Really? Nobody wears a cup.
It's not baseball. Yeah.
Okay, so
you're running too much.
Yeah.
It would grind on you.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you.
Chafing.
Yeah.
So Scott,
I don't know how you do that.
You had a 10-year career, and it's an amazing 11. Hey, dude, you earned that 11th year. You earned it, dude.
Man, 11 years in the NBA. That's tough, dude.
Congratulations. When you look at someone like Darko Milicic, right? Everybody calls him a bust, but when you actually look at his career, he played almost 12 years in the NBA. Like, to me, that's not a bust. The only bust is Joe Dumars taking him second and thus putting too much pressure on that guy. He's going in against Rasheed Wallace.
Larry Brown had a lot to do with that, to be fair. He kind of shit-talked that guy into the ground. Darko.
It's the rookies and the wrong coach can go bad.
Yep.
They could really fuck you up. But like a 10, 11-year career, that's amazing. Not everybody can beat Kobe. Like, when you look back on it, how proud are you that you actually you didn't even think you were going to get drafted. And now you've lasted 11 years. That's got to be amazing.
14 years, Milicic was saying.
14 he made it?
See, and that's the thing about Milicic. Had he been drafted lower, you guys have got it. You guys are really smart about the NBA. I mean, you guys know what you're talking about.
You should hear us talk about pornography.
You do. It's because that's exactly right. He was in the wrong situation for him, and had he not been such a high draft pick, or even maybe in a different situation, maybe it had a more impactful career that would have lived up to the expectation of a number 2 pick. But he didn't, and still managed 14 years because the talent was still there. Once you get into, you're one of 450 people in the world.
Yeah.
People call somebody that's on the end of the bench a bum. Like, I'm 450 in the world that do what I do, and I did it for 11 years. I did it until my body gave out. I couldn't play anymore. They told me no.
What was
and so it is incredibly awesome And my kids don't give a damn. They don't. They were like,
They always
whatever.
seem not
play
to.
in the NBA, whatever.
Yeah, kids are never
But,
impressed with their cool parents.
They will
Yeah.
be once they get older, I think, probably.
Yeah.
Well, I
think
mean,
that
your kids are
when
gonna
they get
be-
older. I hope so.
Your kids are going to be like 8 foot tall. You're what, almost 7 foot, if not 7 foot. Your wife is 6 foot. Anything over 5'8" is tall for a woman. So you're going to have like 9'11" kids, man. They're just going to be giant.
9/11. Never
Oh, no,
forget.
they're
Never
fully
forget.
My girls are fully grown. They're 5'7" and 5'9", and they're done.
Okay.
How's that possible?
Well, different mom. My
Okay.
wife now is 6 feet tall.
Oh, I
Oh,
respect
okay.
that.
I get it.
I respect
My
that.
first wife was 5'7", 5'8".
Oh, yeah, those midgets ruin
and-
everything.
Yep. Well, and the thing is she also both of the women I married, their mothers are from Thailand.
Oh, you love
nice.
the Asian fever. Asian
Yeah,
fever.
there's that genetic code over there that there's not a lot of, I mean, I didn't marry Yao Ming's daughter, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How tall
So-
is she?
Probably tall. Now you had an 11-year career, and you could talk about being in finals and all this, but what was your least favorite season and why? What season could you just not wait? I want this season to end.
Probably my rookie one in Detroit. I mean, I really liked Alvin Gentry. I had a hard time with Doug Collins, and the reason why, I like Doug personally, but the reason why is Doug's coaching style was call guys out, challenge their manhood, especially the rookie. We got to call him out. Are you trying to be a freak or are you trying to be a basketball player? That was one of the things he said to me a lot. And I was just like, this isn't working. You don't need to call me out because I'm the hardest worker on the team.
Yeah.
At least I thought that. And I was one of them. And so, that style just didn't ever work with me. I'm not one of those guys that need a coach to call out my manhood to make me work harder. I'm already working as hard as I can. That's just how I was. And so that season, he got fired, and then Alvin took over. Alvin was totally different, gave me some more playing time than Doug was giving me because we got eliminated from the playoffs, so then I started playing some more. And that, by the way, that was the only year. I was very lucky in my career. From my sophomore year of high school all the way through my 11 years in the NBA, my rookie year was the only season of my whole career that we didn't play in the postseason for a chance to win.
Wow. That's
Well,
So I was very fortunate.
Wow.
Never won one until my last year in the NBA.
Oh, you won
But,
at the
I had a
end?
chance.
with the Celtics, right?
I got an NBA championship with the Boston Celtics. Yeah, Paul
Oh,
Pierce won
that's
me a ring.
great, dude. That's so
Yeah.
great. So you were part of that amazing Sacramento Kings versus LA Lakers run, which I find amazing. As a King, there could be some bitterness about the reffing and all that stuff, but like, what was that like? Like, first of all, I got a question. Did Doug Christie's wife have like some weird kind of blackmail on him that she was allowed to ride the plane? And was that awkward?
There were times where it was a little, I guess awkward would be an acceptable term because she's a really nice girl. I
I'm
like
sure.
Jackie a lot.
It was a joke. It was a joke, but
and no, but it was there was strain sometimes because we're like, this is our bus, this is our plane, and then he'd go sit in the back of the plane with her, or he'd go sit on the other bus with her, and then we're like, okay, well, now you're not being a good teammate, and so there were some very little issues with that, but Doug was such a great teammate otherwise, except for those few little things, and that was off the court stuff. So we just discounted it because it wasn't on the court stuff. Nothing affected him on the court. I used to make fun of their relationship to me, because it wasn't the way I would do it. And that's just fine. But it works for them. They're still married. I got divorced from my first wife. So why would I make fun of them when they're
Right.
still married? And I got divorced from my first wife because I was a bad husband.
right.
And I'm not now. I'm a good husband now. And I'm more like Doug and Jackie.
You don't have to
were back in
convince
the day
us, Scott. You
with
don't
my
have to
second
convince
wife.
us. We believe you. You don't have to convince us, dude. We know you love you. I'm only kidding.
What about Chris Webber? How'd that go in practice?
Yeah,
you
talk
guys?
to me about Chris Webber because, like, what a transcendental talent he was. He didn't get into the Hall of Fame this year. I believe that he's a Hall of Famer without a doubt. I mean, it's literally the only time the Kings have been good is when you guys and Webber were there. Like, what was he like? Like, when did you realize, like, okay, I'm a talented guy. I'm a first-round draft pick, and then you meet like somebody like Webber. You're like, whoa, this guy is just another level of talent. Or maybe you guys are the same talent. I don't know.
No. He is actually the most gifted player I ever played with. I played with LeBron. I played with Kevin Garnett. I played with Paul Pierce in college and in the pros.
Really?
But Chris could do anything on a basketball court and make it look easy. Now, there's guys that are better than Chris Webber. I'm not saying that. But I'm talking about the ability to just go, I'm going to go block 5 shots tonight. I'm going to get 15 rebounds tonight. I'm going to lock down my guy tonight. Or I'm going to score 55 points tonight. Chris could do any of that stuff. He could get 15 assists. He was a smooth passer. He could dribble the ball up the court. He could guard anybody he wanted to. Now, did he take nights off? Absolutely. Everybody that plays that many minutes has to take some nights off. So he wasn't my favorite teammate, but it's funny you guys brought him up. I just saw him last night. He was doing the game here. We went to the game in Indiana, and so I went over and saw him. We caught up for a little bit. It was great to see him. But
seems like a funny guy. He seems like a funny guy.
Yeah, he's a really, really nice guy. And just he was a good teammate. He wasn't my favorite teammate ever.
Who was?
Just because who was? Probably Vlade. Vlade was a great teammate. He was a lot of fun. Jason Williams was a blast. I love.
We were just talking about him the other day.
Yeah.
Fucking.
He's got a 15-minute. He's got a 15-minute highlight reel on YouTube. That is, how is he forgotten? Everybody forgot for like a 4 or 5 year window. He was so electric.
Yeah, I think that's why
he got shipped around too much.
Short, bright burst.
Unbelievable highlight reel. It doesn't even feel like 15 minutes either. It feels like a 3-minute video.
What I want to get into
the thing about him is his practice. A practice edit would blow your mind even more.
Really?
In practice, he was ridiculous because that's when he would experiment. There's no referees to call travel or carry, and so he would experiment. And the things he did in practice
just make you guys laugh.
Were just magical.
Did you guys?
Yeah, he's hilarious too.
Did you guys rip him for getting the Black Panther tattoo, which is the first tattoo when you walk into a tattoo parlor? It's like it's under for idiots. Did you give him shit about that?
No, but Vlade had a panther on his arm too, so I know Vlade didn't give him any shit about it.
Look at those passes!
Wow, dude,
he's like
look
Pistol
at that.
Pete. He's like Pete Maravich. I mean, some of those passes are insane.
Oh my god!
So Scott, he was practicing all that shit in practice. Like, would he sit around like and try to sling it behind his back and stuff? Would you see him? Was he one of those guys that spent extra time practicing all that stuff?
I think that's what you just said.
That's
what
I'm saying.
But I mean, like by himself though, or would he? Like what?
Sitting by himself.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because like you get,
yeah.
Like Pete Maravich had all these. I don't know if you've seen that video, but he had all these little weird drills that he would do to practice these weird passes and stuff. But you're saying he just kind of did it during.
He just did it.
Yeah, just did it. Okay.
If he did any practices like that, I've seen those videos that Pete did. And if he did anything like that, he did it on his own time. I never saw him just working on stuff against the wall or anything.
Gotcha.
He would just be dribbling down the court, and all of a sudden he'd lift his jersey and throw the ball behind his back inside his jersey, and that would be the crossover.
That's crazy.
It's hilarious.
That's great. Who would you describe as your, not necessarily rival, but who did you always hate matching up against? Who do you think maybe had your number every time you guys, who like really got you hyped up when you knew you were going to be guarding that guy all night?
Hated guarding.
Yep.
I liked guarding everybody. Shaq wasn't fun, but it was a hell of a challenge.
I bet.
And so that would be the one that I got most excited to play against. We played against each other a lot too. You know, you guys mentioned it. We'd play against each other in the preseason in Vegas, then 4 times in the regular season, and then 7 games in the playoffs. So we were familiar with each other. We'd see each other a lot. And
do you have a cool relationship, or was he super competitive and he was like, "Fuck you, Scot Pollard. Why don't you have 2 T's in your name? You fucking suck.
We
1
were
T."
really cool, actually. I think if I had a different personality, he would have taken swings at me because my job was to hang on him, slow him down, and foul him, and he knew it, and I think he respected that about me. That at least I wasn't trying to hurt him. I never would try to hurt anybody. But there was times where, I got to hang on him. I got to foul him and then, help him up or whatever. But, he dunked on me a lot. And people like, oh, man, Shaq dunked on your face.
You're not alone.
Yeah, he dunked on everybody.
He dunked on everybody. Who was
at least it wasn't Tony Parker dunking on my face.
That's true. Who was the dirtiest player you remember playing in the NBA? Who was dirty?
Stockton?
John Stockton?
Dirty.
I love it.
Every time you go set a screen, he'd punch you in the nuts.
I love it. That's amazing, dude. That's crazy. Breaking news.
Now, what did you like? How would he do
My
it? Like
teammates
this?
warned me.
Like, what it was a
Really?
hammer? Or was it like boom?
No, he's that high. So you go over to set the screen.
Oh, yeah,
you
of
go
course.
set a screen.
Yeah.
And my teammates warned me, they're like, cover yourself because he's going to hit you. And sure as shit, man, I went over to set a screen on him, and he just went bam, and just real quick.
Right in the nuts.
As soon as I went over and tried to hit me, and luckily my hands were in the way.
Oh,
And
dude.
Wow.
That was every time.
So
every time. You had to be careful around him. He was, and again, it was sneaky. It wasn't trying to hurt somebody,
Yeah.
like injure somebody.
He just knew
But
every
he
little
tried to hurt
advantage.
you.
Yeah.
You know, give you a Charlie horse in the leg or hit you in your nuts.
Oh,
You always heard
It'll
Bird.
make you think about it.
You always heard Larry Bird was dirty as well.
Did you tell him you guys are both Mormons? What is he doing?
Goes against the
Because he
code,
played in
bro.
Utah doesn't mean he's Mormon.
It goes against the code of Utah, bro.
So I want to talk about two things you were a part of or known for. Obviously, is the Vlade Divac's tap, which goes to the one guy in the planet you don't want the ball to go to in that moment, which is Robert Horry, who just hits it. It's a one of the like unforgettable moments of the NBA. Explain what it felt to be on the other side of that.
Well, that was a rough game. We were leading from, I think, start to finish. We were ahead that whole game, and when every big man is taught from childhood. Well, used to be. I don't know if they do anymore. Now they just teach them to shoot threes. But used to be that when you were a big guy, you would get taught if there's a rebound getting close and the clock's getting expired, and you're not trying to tip it in. You tip it away. You get it away from the basket because it's a lower percentage shot. So Vlade knew that, and he did exactly what I would have done. Shaquille O'Neal's trying to get an offensive rebound and smash it on your face. So you tip that ball away from everybody as far as you can. And yeah, it just went
Right
to the wrong
Horry.
guy. Went to big shot Rob, and Rob knocked it down. He hit a big shot. And it was like he didn't even have to reach down.
Yeah, we're
He
watching
went
it right
to
now.
his hands. It wasn't like it was to his feet and he had to take a dribble to get back by the 3-point line.
Yeah, that was
He was
Vlade.
just standing there.
It was Vlade, yeah. That's crazy. It's funny, we just watched the whole video, and you just did play-by-play perfectly for it.
Yeah.
I imagine that has repeated in your head like a loop. So how long does it take you to get
A
over
few
something
times.
like that? How long does it take you to get over something like that?
I'm still not over it.
Is that true?
That team, that was the longest part of my career with one team. I didn't want to get traded from there. I got traded there against my knowledge and against my will. I got traded out of there, I mean. And I loved my teammates. I loved the city of Sacramento.
Underrated city.
I wanted to spend my whole career there.
Yeah.
Underrated city. I don't know why. I always think that Chris Webber saying it didn't have any good soul food kind of hurt that city in terms of with NBA players. I love going to Sacramento. I love doing stand-up in Sacramento. It is one of the women are gorgeous. The town is it's like a giant little city. It's
That's
like,
what Indianapolis
Yeah.
is.
you know?
Yeah. I mean, there's no good soul food there. That's true. But where's the good Mexican restaurant in Salt Lake City? I mean,
Yeah.
there's certain places that you go for certain types of food is what I'm getting at.
Right.
There are places that have great soul food, and they're not in the Midwest. They're in the South. That's where you get them. And there's one good place in L.A. But, that was just one thing that was said and blown out of proportion. Chris liked Sacramento, as far as I know anyway. But I do miss those days. Those guys are guys that every time we see each other, like I just said, last night saw Chris, hadn't seen him in years, but it was like we had just been hanging out. I mean, it was a big hug and how you doing? How's the family? All that stuff. So I'm never going to get over not winning a championship with that team.
Is that Sacramento team the greatest, or at least top 5 greatest teams not to win a ring?
Oh, yeah, they got to be up there. That was a really good team. Even with Jason Williams, before we got Mike Bibby, we had Funderburk backing up people. We had John Barry coming off the bench, Tony
Funderburk.
Delk, and then they got subbed out and got Hito Turkoglu. Are you kidding me? That guy had a
Totally, wow.
15-year
Yeah.
NBA career and should have been an all-star more often. He always underachieved, I think, for his talent level. But, we had great players coming off the bench. And in addition to having that starting 5 that was just magical and moved that ball so quickly and so efficiently with each other, and then the bench mob came in and we played a different style of basketball. So other teams, it was like they had to practice for 2 starting 5s.
Right.
We really had a 1-2 combo that was ridiculous to deal with for other teams.
It's probably Clyde Drexler's Portland teams up there. Utah,
Yep.
Stockton Malone, the Kings.
Shaq and Penny never won one. Scott
Patrick
Skiles,
Ewing's
they didn't
New
win one, did
York.
they? They went, but they didn't win.
Yeah, but they weren't around that
Yeah.
long. Patrick Ewing's New York Knicks, and most likely probably Barkley's Suns are probably, and they're all. It's funny that a lot of them are the West Coast teams, but those are probably my top 5 never to win it.
Those Suns teams were fun, man.
They were
I
great.
love watching
Yeah.
those teams play.
That was the NBA Jams when NBA Jams said,
Those-
"He's on fire!"
And those jerseys, dude, those Suns jerseys were killer. I mean,
I want to
Yeah.
get into
They should go back to those.
they really should. They were just beautiful.
before we get into modern
Now they
NBA.
look like Taco Bell aprons.
I don't
They're
even get me
terrible,
started
yeah.
about the Phoenix Suns. I thought it was an embarrassment to the NBA to have the Suns on national television because it was just bad YMCA rec ball. They got blown out every time. And it's just like, hey, Suns, stop drafting Kentucky guys. We get it. You like these one-and-dones dudes, but they have no skills. And as great as Devin Booker is, and he's wonderful, you're just getting the same guys. But I want to get into the one thing, the do drugs kids, because listen, you're on a podcast where 2 of us are recovering alcoholics and drug addicts, and did you think when you did that, did you have any clue it would get that big? I feel like it was a joke that just got away from you and
It was. You guys being stand-up comedians, you tell jokes. Sometimes they're good ones, sometimes they're bad ones, and sometimes it's the wrong audience. And what it was is throughout my whole career, and this is a fact, ask anybody that works in a crew, if you happen to run into a camera guy that was working those games, people always ask me, hey, tell a joke. The producer in the truck went to Missouri. So tell them, and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, Missouri, they love children."
Yeah.
I would say horrible jokes.
And it
for
was,
the guys in
dude,
the truck. And
it was the
cameraman always did
90s.
this.
You could do pedophile jokes back then. That was it. Pedophile jokes. Go on.
Yeah. And so all the time, so it was a common thing. Timeouts, whatever, slow part of the game, whether I was in uniform or not. In this game, I happened to not be in a uniform. I was in a suit because I was injured. And, the guy comes up to me, the camera, and he's like, motioning, like, say something for the guys in the truck. So I just go, hey, kids, do drugs. And then I look, and I go, oh, man, the light's on the camera. So it was live on TV. It wasn't just for the guys in the truck. It was actually on TV.
Oh,
So
no.
I never apologized. It was a joke, and it just wasn't a good joke. It was a bad joke for the wrong
It
audience.
was funny.
If I was
Come
doing
on.
stand-up comedy,
It's
everybody
funny.
would have laughed, and it would never have been made a big deal. But when you're in the NBA, it's so conservative,
Right.
and they have drug tests,
Right.
and all these guys that fail drug tests are sitting there at the Read to Achieve event reading to kids. Meanwhile, a guy that never failed a drug test, never did drugs, and never got caught with a DUI or any of that stuff, don't have a problem with any of it. And I'm, yet I hope. I wouldn't. I don't say never.
Right.
I'm pretty good about
We get that.
making good, intelligent decisions, especially when I have so many people depending on me. But everybody makes mistakes. But up to this point in my life, I've never failed a drug test, and I'm sitting there going, hey, I got kids. It's a joke.
Right.
So sorry, it was a bad joke, but I'm not apologizing for saying it because I didn't mean it.
Yeah.
It
It
wasn't.
was a joke.
It
was a
wasn't
joke
that
for the guys
bad.
in the truck.
What NFL player just
Yeah,
got
I
in
never
trouble
thought
for
it
that?
would be 11 years later, and
With the
people are still
gun.
asking me about
Let
it,
me
but
ask you
whatever.
something, though. Let me ask you something, though.
Jay Feely.
Yeah, Jay Feely. That's who it was.
No, that was with the gun. And
I know. And it was a joke about his daughter
And it's
going to
funny.
prom with this guy.
It's funny.
It is funny.
Yeah. And now everyone's jumping down his throat. It's like, dude,
problem
he's a
I have
dad
with
making
that-
a joke.
The problem I have with that is that everyone's calling this guy. I'm listening to sports talk radio out here, and they're like, it's bad with all this in this climate. I'm like, have you asked The Rock to apologize for every movie he's done with guns? Have you asked every CBS, Fox, NBC show that has guns? It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. It's the hypocrisy
How many
of like,
gun jokes are in movies? Like guns accidentally going off. Like, oh god,
Yeah, it's
I mean,
so
what?
stupid.
Dumb.
It's so stupid.
It's hypocritical.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely.
Let's get into
Very hypocritical.
Let's get into the modern. Right now, do you like modern NBA? Do you think it? Do you prefer the old Ewing, like the New York Knicks, Chicago Bulls, Detroit Pistons, hang 'em and bang 'em, type of offense, or do you like the game that now with a little Euro flavor to it, ball movement, shooting? Like we're getting way, and I always felt like this. Michael Jordan and Shaquille O'Neal, I thought, were 2 of the greatest players ever played the game, but they also did a lot of damage to the sport, in my opinion, in that they forced the league into a certain style of play. Jordan was individual score. It's all about me. And then Shaq was, and I hope this doesn't, me include you, but get these guys in there, the hack and Shaq, and it became these really big guys that were just there to hack Shaq, get rebounds, and swat shots. Do you like this new NBA where it's like everybody has to be a shooter?
That's the longest question I've ever heard in my life. I don't even know what you're asking anymore.
Basketball is like jazz music, and you said it. You said it differently than I would, but you said that players like Michael Jordan and Shaq force the league to change. I consider it they're the best of their trade, and they force people to change the way that the game is played because everybody emulates them. Look at the Warriors; they had success, so everybody's trying to be like the Warriors. Back when Wilt Chamberlain was playing, everybody tried to gear up with a big guy of their own to try to slow down the stilt. And so it's jazz music. It's always going to change, and it always has. I particularly enjoy this better than those half-court smash-mouth basketball that's boring, where you're walking up the court and Pat Riley's calling a play, and there's 5 seconds on the shot clock, and they finally do something. I don't enjoy the NBA when the final score is 75-70.
I agree.
want to see people scoring. I loved playing for the Sacramento Kings because we put down 120 points on the regular, and it was a lot of fun to play, and it was a hell of a lot of fun to watch because we had sold-out arenas across the league and home court at a lot of them because our fans we had people that loved us all around the world. And so it's an exciting type of basketball, and I think we kind of were that precursor to the Warriors model now with the way Vlade and Chris could shoot
see
outside,
that.
passing big men.
I could see that.
Moving the ball around, screens, teamwork. No one cares who gets all the points. No one cares who gets all the shots because everybody's going to get that night once in a while. Whenever the other team gives one guy a rough night on defense and he's not having it, boom, the next guy's getting it. So the Splash Brothers out there doing it. It's not my favorite. I prefer a little bit more control, 5 positions instead of 4 around 1.
Yeah.
And everybody's just setting screens on the perimeter.
Right.
I hate watching Myles Turner in the playoffs right now, standing out at the 3-point line when there's no one on the whole freaking court that can guard him in the post.
Right.
But he's standing out there at the 3-point line waiting for a shot, and I'm going, man,
Coach,
put your butt in the post and go to work. You'd have 15 points in the first quarter. No, they had Kyle Korver on him the other night. I'm like, are you kidding me? And you're not even taking that little mouse to the house?
That is the evolution. I believe that's the next level is where now you got all these shooters, but then you're going to have a Shaq type come in, and then it's going to be inside and outside. You're going to be able to bang somebody down low, but then step out if they give you that and hit the 3.
I think it'll be a 4, maybe even a 4 that can really post up.
Well, that's DeMarcus Cousins. You just described DeMarcus Cousins.
Right.
He can do all of that.
That is true.
And he can go inside and out. Anthony, to a certain extent, but DeMarcus is more powerful inside. He can go back to the basket all day long if he wanted to, and he can also shoot threes all day long.
So can Davis.
But it's the game's always changing, and it always will, and it will take the next Shaq, Patrick Ewing, whoever you want to say is the next big guy that's going to make the game go inside and out again. Because DeMarcus isn't going to be that guy, but when there is another big guy that is just Yao Ming type size, immovable object that can give you 30 if you don't put somebody big on him, then that'll change the game again.
Real quick, Scott, we're gonna our co-host is joining us in.
I think he's in Europe.
Are you? Please welcome. Did we just lose Scott? No. Ari,
we got everybody.
There he is. Ari, welcome to the show.
Shirtless.
In bed. You're on with our good friend Scot Pollard, NBA veteran, loves the Raiders.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
did we wake you up?
Yeah.
I think he's in Europe.
Yeah, it's Australia, so I'm not yeah. No, you didn't wake me up, but I did wake up.
Okay.
Where are you at?
You got any of those Euro sluts there?
I'm in Melbourne. No, it's a lot of like fucking bushwalker chicks.
Bushwalker chicks.
Scott, I want to ask you something. Now that we're talking NBA, we're talking about what it's like to be in the NBA. I want to know, you were talking about the fans in Sacramento when you were with the Kings. What's the craziest thing a fan ever did? Was there ever a time where you're like, man, this is creepy, or this is really weird?
There was a lot of those in Sacramento. A lot of that we got treated like rock stars there, and it was a unique experience for me to be treated like a rock star, where everywhere you went, you go sit, at a restaurant, people are banging on the window, like, hey, and people following you into a nice meal. Like, I don't mean to bother you, but you're clearly alone with your wife having a nice romantic dinner and finally trying to have some quiet time, and people are bugging you for an autograph. But that's all part of it, and I'm cool with that. But, it was just a lot of it. I wouldn't call any one particular situation out. I've signed a lot of body parts, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
Yeah. Now, real quick, what are your thoughts on these playoffs? Because I think they're some of the most exciting in years because we don't really know who could win it. I mean, we think the Warriors if they get back Curry, but now he's probably going to be out for this round as well. So I think the East is wide open. It does not look like LeBron James is going to be guaranteed to get to the finals. And then you got the West. There's a bunch of teams I find very interesting. What's your thoughts on them?
Well, my thoughts are on a naked dude right now. I kind of want that image off my screen.
Welcome to Punch Drunk. Don't even ask for it. Don't ask
think it
for
just
it.
did it.
Don't ask for it.
I didn't know we were doing a podcast in the bush.
Yeah. We are the #1 naked sports podcast.
He's in the other room.
Bogut just went back to playing in Australia. He just went back. He's now playing in the Australian Basketball League.
Ari, congrats on your Pelicans. Ari is a big Pelican fan, and they look great.
Hey,
let's assume they're going to win the championship. I think they're the team to beat right now in the West and the East.
Well,
I think you're wrong.
A lot of people are like, oh, the Warriors going to walk through them. I think if you go player for player, it's a lot closer than people think. That pickup of that kid, that young man from Chicago, Milicic, is that his name or what's his? Muriocic?
Yeah, Miocic.
Yeah.
Or no. Yeah, hold on.
Yeah. Something like that. That's amazing. That guy's grabbing like 30 points, 15 rebounds. That's a big pickup, man. And then you got Drew Holiday, who's finally gotten over that knee problem. They got a good team, and Rondo's got experience. I don't think it's going to be as a walkover like people think it's going to be for the Warriors.
I think New Orleans has to win one of two.
It's fun to see. I'm a big fan of not knowing who's going to win because when I was in the league, you'd see some of the playoff games, series, and say Memphis would be playing the Jazz or whatever. I'm just spitting names out, not current or then.
Yeah.
Just two teams would be playing, and neither one of them is going to get past the next round. It's just like they're playing that series so that one of them has to lose the next round.
Yeah.
There's no way they have a chance of getting in, but one of them has to go to the next round. And that's not true this year. I agree. It's a lot of fun to see that there's that much parity in the NBA playoffs right now.
Well, last year, Houston was going to game 6 or game 7 with the next round being the Warriors. And, dude, James Harden didn't even show up, almost to the point where people thought he was throwing the game because he knew the next round's why even go play? You're going to get your ass beat.
Mm-hmm.
I real quick want to catch you up. Oh, sorry. Ari, real quick, want to catch you up with the highlights of the podcast so far. NBA veteran, 11-year NBA veteran Scot Pollard said, I really know my NBA stuff. So just to let you know where we're at, he said, I really know my NBA. So,
he actually said the show does. But
or either one.
Or
either one.
You can take credit for it.
Either one.
Scott, are you the kind of guy that, because I've randomly at times I met a couple people that played in Super Bowls and different, athletes and whatnot, people that won college championships, and you either wear your ring or you display your ring. What are you? Are you the kind of guy who wears your NBA championship ring around, or do you have it on display at home like a trophy? Like
maybe
Ari?
A tattoo of a tramp stamp in the small of your back. Do you got that?
I do have a tattoo, but it's my whole back.
Okay, I respect
cool.
that. I respect that.
But my NBA championship ring right now is in a safe.
Mm-hmm.
We're in a rental house, and we're almost moving into our new house. We're building a house, so we're gonna move into the new one. It'll have a case and a display.
Nice.
But right now it's in a safe.
But you never wear it out
I do wear it.
Yeah, cool.
Quite a bit. It's actually got a loose stone right now, though, so I'm keeping it until I can send it back in and get it fixed.
Awesome.
So who do you like in this?
Let me ask you a question.
Okay, go on.
Scott, when you guys are a team in the clubhouse, I'm sure it's a lot of kids.
We can't hear you, Ari.
I can't hear you.
Do you ever make bets with each other and then have anybody not want to pay off one of those bets?
Bets about what?
Just about
This is
anything.
an inside
I
joke.
know
Yeah.
Jordan used to bet on whose bags would come out of the fucking carousel first.
Did he really?
Okay, yeah. Well,
That's great.
first of all, they flew private. No bags came out of a carousel. The equipment people go get the bags off the plane and put them on the bus. We don't go through public terminals,
Look,
commercial terminal.
You just ruined our credibility,
But-
fucking Ari.
There's gambling on the plane. On every team I played on. We play in between, loosey, whatever, AC-doocy, if you want to call it that. Some guys played poker.
That's what we
Some
call
guys would
Ari's
play,
asshole too.
What would
honk.
you do to somebody
But
who refused
there
to
was
pay?
those kind of gambling, but I don't remember anybody just being as aggressive. And I heard lots of stories about Michael just wanted to gamble on everything. Everything was a competition.
Hey Scott, what would you do to
But I
somebody
never
who?
played with anybody
What
like
would you
that.
do to somebody who lost a bet though, but refused to pay?
Well, that's bad business. That's kind of you're going to lose the respect to your teammates real quick, and they're like,
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
paid up.
What if you owe one bet and the other guy owes 3 bets and the other dude owes 2 bets, but they want you to pay off your bet first, and that's some bullshit. They should pay off their bets first. Would you agree, Scott? And I'm a Raiders fan.
Sounds guilty.
I'm confused.
That's what got you into the
whose
trouble in the
bet
first
is
place.
The wrong bet.
Yeah.
That's
You
what
gotta straighten out your locker room. Or
Scott.
you're gonna have problems in the playoffs.
Scott,
You're
Yeah.
not gonna love it. You're not gonna trust each
Yeah.
other. On
You're
the
off
road.
the
You're gonna
show.
these
Get
bets
over
set
that.
up.
Problems in the
This is
playoffs.
personal problem.
off.
It's gonna
Get
affect
over
your
it.
workplace.
Scott, I'm going to ask you something. Who was somebody in the NBA, like throughout your NBA career, that was like a huge partier, and then you'd always be like, how is this guy even going to make it to the game tomorrow? And then just shows up, no problem, everything's fine.
I played with a couple of those guys. I'm not going to name names, but I played with a couple guys that absolutely got drunk before the games.
Flotty
And-
Divots.
Wow.
A lot
Before
of
the
guys
game?
get high before games.
Oh, yeah, I read
Wow.
it.
They all get high.
I always heard
I
that.
don't consider that a performance enhancer. I don't think it hurts anybody's performance.
Totally
I know
agree.
one guy in particular that until he passed his 4th drug test, he was drunk all the time because he needed it to calm down. And then he passed his 4th drug test, and then he would smoke weed, and he was the best teammate for the rest of the year.
Wow.
It was like he needed
crazy.
to have weed.
Jay
so he could be calm
Williams.
and be a great teammate.
They
And I'm not
gotta
going to name
they
names
gotta
because
fix
it's
that.
not my story to tell.
Of course. Yeah, I respect
it's
that.
their story if they want to.
You always hear,
but,
yeah,
but
absolutely.
yeah, I mean, there's guys that had problems, and there was guys that had all the talent in the world, and they had real problems. Like it wasn't just like a beer or two, and then to mellow out and then go out and play basketball. It was like hammered drunk. And then you go out there and get in a fight with one of your teammates in warm-ups, and the coach throws you out of the game. Well, those guys don't last in the NBA very
Yeah,
long. You get your butt sent out of the
Hammered
country.
before a
You
game.
go
That's
to China and
crazy.
play over there.
So who's your favorite player right now in the NBA?
My favorite player in the NBA right now.
I mean, there's some great ones.
I'm torn, but it's going to be a big guy. You know that.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
I'm torn between Anthony, the Brow, and Porzingis is actually my favorite, but he's hurt a lot, so I'm worried about his body. But and then Joel Embiid, of course, he's a Kansas guy. I think of all of the current NBA players, he has the most ability to become one of those guys that is talked about in 50 years.
Yep.
He talks so much shit too. He's great. He talks
I
so
know
much
he is
shit.
absolutely hilarious.
I love it.
I love it, dude. I think he's great. Greek freak. You remember how everyone says like LeBron was like a once-in-a-generation player? Now we have the Greek freak, Kevin Durant, Ben Simmons. They're all very similar.
Yeah.
It's just like pretty soon the NBA is just going to be all 7-footers where your hips fall determines where you play. If you have like lower hips
I
or
see.
higher hips, you're going to be a down low guy. If you have lower hips, like Kevin Garnett was the first guy that was 7 foot built like a guard. Like he could
Yeah.
move like a guard. We hadn't seen that before. Ralph Sampson.
Yeah, he was a
somewhat-
shooting guard that got
Yeah.
shot with a ray gun.
Yeah, he got
You know
hit
what I mean?
with gamma radiation. Ralph Sampson was like that, and he was, he blew out his knees because sometimes guys that
Yeah, but
big
he didn't
aren't
play
supposed to-
perimeter as much as the people we're talking about now.
Yeah.
Samson
Yeah.
still banged down low for the majority of it. You're talking about, Durant could Garnett could bring the ball up and just pull up a fucking three-point jumper in your face.
What was it like taking on Garnett? I heard he was nasty.
We did not like each other.
Why?
our whole careers until we were teammates. And it turns out, like a lot of guys I hated playing against, like Reggie Miller was one of those guys too, because competitors compete. You know, you hate that guy because he's competing his ass off. Well, that was how Kevin felt about me, and that's how I felt about Kevin. We got in one of those NBA fights in Tokyo one year. He
White
was playing
boy
for the
pushes?
Timberwolves, and I was playing for the Kings.
Where you both don't really want to throw a
What'd you
punch,
say?
but you do, so you let people stand in between you.
White boy push.
Yeah, hold me back. You know.
Yeah.
Who was the best shit talker?
But Charles Barkley.
Oh, really?
Oh shit.
Did he just make
He
you
was
laugh
great.
when he would talk
He
shit?
was really great. Sam Cassell was really good too.
You got to talk shit if you look like that.
Let's see.
Like an
Yeah.
alien?
Yeah. He looks like he's here to see our leader.
Flores.
Take me to your
Dude, it must have been great.
Ari,
It
what?
must have been great in California when you passed that 4th drug test to just be like, guys, I'm free.
I'm back. Ari, breaking news. We had breaking news with Ari Shaffir earlier. Let's see if Ari can guess. Scott told us who he thought was the dirtiest NBA player when he was playing. Who do you think it is?
Did you play against that guy from Detroit, fucking Lambeer?
Nope.
No, I'm not that old, Dick.
It was around 2002, 2003, maybe. Let's see.
Yep.
You're never going to guess it.
No, I don't know. Who?
John Stockton.
John Stockton.
Really?
I know. I was surprised too. Yeah, he apparently would
No,
punch you
wait.
in the balls all the time every time you set a
Because,
screen.
like, during timeouts, he would try to convert you to Mormonism.
No, he doesn't have
No,
to convert him.
he's
He's
not
already
Mormon,
Mormon.
dude.
He just played for the Jazz.
Scot
He said
Pollard
Portland.
is a Mormon.
know.
Non-practicing. Non-practicing.
That's like saying Karl Malone is a Mormon just because he played for the Jazz his whole career.
I was about to say that.
Idiot.
Scott Pollard's Mormonism
no, it
is
was-
like
it
Jayson
was-
Thibault's
He would go and just
Taekwondo.
elbow you when you go set a screen on him. He'd elbow you.
You
or
learned
punch
it at
you
a
in the
mall?
balls every time. So you got to be ready for that.
Right in the
And he'd
nuts.
grab your jersey and hold your jersey, and box outs. He'd come in and stick his hand right up your crotch or whatever from behind
Oh.
to get you to like relax or jump or whatever.
Oh, relax. Like
Relax.
a slow stroke.
Yeah, he was
like,
very
and
handsy.
nice come up and nice slow
Very
stroke
handsy.
it with his delicate hands. Hey, Scott, who wins the NBA
He was an
championship?
aggressive teenage date.
The funniest joke comes from the non-comedian. Well played, sir. Well played.
Who do you think wins the championship?
I think that the Rockets get out of the West this year
Me too.
because it's time, and I think that the Raptors get out of the East this
They're in a
year.
fight right now.
I love the Celtics, and I want them to do it, but I'm hoping for I hope, and I think it's time for the Raptors as well, and I think that's going to make for a great finals. And I don't know who's going to win. If those two get there, it could be either one of them. I think it'll go 7 games, and it'll come down to a last-second shot in Game 7. But I'm hoping that Houston does. I think Houston's better, but I wouldn't mind if either one of those teams won.
I want Chris
I just
Paul
don't
to
want
get a
Golden
chip.
State. I do too. I don't want Golden State.
Now, Scott, you have a Raiders hat on. Big Raiders fan, like myself.
I've been a Raiders fan since I was a kid, and people are like, "Are you still going to be a fan when they go to Vegas?" I'm like, "Yeah, I have to be because I became a fan when they were in LA when I was growing up in San Diego." So it'd be hypocritical of me to say no, just because they're leaving Oakland, I'm not going to be a fan anymore. But I'm actually going to be out there next week. 2 weeks. Fred Biletnikoff, the famous Hall of Fame receiver for the Raiders. He's having a golf tournament, and he invited me out to be one of the people. I mean, he's got Hall of Fame people. Jerry Rice is going to be there, and a bunch of his former teammates.
How's your-
like actual famous?
how's your
people.
golf
I
game,
get to be
Scott?
I get to act like a celebrity for a week.
How's your golf game, Scott? Can you hit it? Can you really drive it? What? I mean, you got a lot
I
of
can
height.
hit it a mile off the tee, but
I
my
bet you
short
got
game
some
is
long-ass
terrible.
clubs.
My putting is hit or miss. I'm either awful putting or I actually am really good putter. It just
Isn't that the
and there's
best?
no rhyme or reason. I don't play enough.
You have those days where you can just fucking drain everything. And you're like, I should be in the tour.
You're like, I'm good at this. And then for the
Yeah,
next
like
9
that.
times you play, it's garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm good enough to have fun, but I'm bad enough to not keep score and not care about it. So.
Hey, I spent a week on Koh Rong in Cambodia. How fucking beautiful was it?
It's nice. I loved it over there.
God, it was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Do you see those? You ever see those fish that light up at night?
Yeah, one of the producers woke me up one time because he was like, "I think you're the only one that would care about this."
Look that
and
up.
I walked over, and ours wasn't the fish; it was the
Don't see
algae.
that shit.
Yeah.
The waves were breaking, and the algae was lit up. It was the coolest thing, man. And I was
Like lightning
I
bugs?
woke up one other person, and they were like, "Yeah, whatever, man. Why'd you wake me up?" And I went back to bed. I was like, eh.
It was so cool though.
Like
Yeah.
it's just a once in a lifetime thing. I thought maybe you'd enjoy, you dirtbag.
They light up like lightning bugs, like so they can find each other. Is it like a mating thing?
Like well, it's algae.
Oh, I'm talking about the
where
fish.
I was, and it is. It's a thing so the algae can whatever. It's not radioactive or anything. but it does, and
Bioluminescence
It's only
is
a
what
few
they call it.
places in the whole
Oh,
world. I think
wow.
Puerto Rico has a.
That's
a place
crazy
like that,
looking.
too.
Put that on the screen, Johnny.
You
That's
just like
crazy looking.
squish through the water and it lights
Oh,
up.
sorry.
In response.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Scott, any other sports you
That's
into? USC?
Got the big NFL draft in 2 days.
Oh yeah, are you excited
Or
about
3
the
days.
draft?
That
Are you
was
going to
Tuesday.
watch the draft? Are you excited about? I mean, like this is such an interesting draft.
Nobody
'cause
cares about the draft as much as you guys.
I care.
I care.
I,
No
lot of
one
people
cares
care.
as much as you.
yeah.
That's not true at all. People
It's
talk
going to
about
be
it
on
all the time.
Fox. What are you talking about? Of course, everybody cares.
It's on Fox this year?
Yeah, they're
No
going to do
shit.
Fox, ESPN, but now it's going to be on Fox on the regular channel, not the Fox.
By the way,
Sports.
I hate how they broke
Just
it
around
up
one.
over. I wish they go back to how they used to do it. It sucks having to wait like 3 days to get to the last
Leave
round.
it to the NFL to milk that fucking thing for
No,
3
it's
days.
awful.
trying to milk it like John Stockton
Just
would
get it
when
over
he
with.
throw a fucking
Yeah,
a nice
like
little
Scott Jonkton would, just like Scott Jonkton would.
Scott, you know what I'm
Scott
talking about.
Jonkton.
You know what I'm fucking talking
You know
about.
that Carl Thomas Anthony.
All right,
That guy.
I don't need Scott Pollard fucking giving me shit too. Are you a UFC guy? Are you a UFC guy too? UFC
I do like
baseball.
watching the UFC. I was really disappointed to see what Conor did when he did that. That was just dumb. But yeah, I've been to a few of the fights. I like watching it, and they're actually, I never was a fighter in my whole life, but being as big and strong as I am, I've never been scared out in public. Like if somebody wants to start some shit with me, I figure I can handle myself. I've
I'm
never
really
been in a
scared.
fight. I don't
yeah.
plan on being in one. But I've never really been scared. But then I started watching the UFC, and I'm like, yeah, I'm certainly not going to just pick on some dude that looks like he's half my size because he might know how to rip my face off.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I saw a thing on.
It does change the game.
I saw a
Changed
thing
the
on-
game. You don't know who's trained anymore, so you can't just go by size.
I know who's
gotta
not
go by
trained. You.
cauliflower ears.
That's why I know you haven't trained for shit because you're running from me all
like-
the time.
it's like
I've been
Aaron's-
wanting to fight you
I was
forever.
going to fight you, Sam.
Fight.
I was going to fight you.
Do it.
but I had to
Do
go to
it.
Vegas for
So
some
full
reason.
of shit.
Fight.
dude.
Do it.
It's like Aaron says, you got to look for cauliflower ear. That's your tell.
Let's
Yeah.
do it. Let's
That's
do it again.
yourself.
Yeah.
Fight. You guys fight.
I've already said I'd fight.
Ari, do you still want to fight this guy?
I told him I'd fight.
Well,
I'm
let's-
ready to fight as long as I'm
You guys should
on the
fight
road.
at
When's the next
Skankfest.
Mania?
Hold on, I'll find out.
Fight
Are
at
you going to
Skankfest.
fight like boxing or UFC
MMA.
style?
We want to do
UFC.
UFC style.
Oh, so you guys gonna wear like little leotards and
Okay.
wrestle?
I hope so.
No, I'm going to go naked.
Oh,
You're gonna go
Go
naked.
with the old naked advantage. Okay.
No.
Yeah.
I don't want those
Yeah.
What if he
moon
gives you
nuts
the-
on me.
What if he gives you the John
Naked
Stockton?
thing.
Yeah, he gives it the old Tom Jonkton.
Fuck that.
Hold
Tom
Ring the
Johnson.
old doorbell.
The
He's dapping out. No, he's not. He's telling you to go faster.
Speaking of McGregor, I saw a thing on Twitter. It said title that Stipe posted.
Yeah.
Miocic. It goes title defenses for Mighty Mouse 10, title defenses for Stipe Miocic 3, title defenses for Conor McGregor 0.
Yeah.
He's never defended a belt. With all the hoopla we got to hear about this guy, he's
I think
never
his star's
defended a belt.
fading. I think he's fading.
I do too.
Ellis Mania is the end of September, by the way, 29th and 30th of September.
Yeah.
What about it, Ari?
Did you watch that movie? He's
watched
got a
it.
movie on Netflix.
Yeah, I saw it.
Conor
McGregor?
movie,
It was really good. I really liked it.
Oh, yeah, you said it was
It's
good.
good.
Right?
Yeah, I
But
liked it.
based on that, and I don't want to paint a picture, but based on that, it looks like he's already got some health issues. Like his knees are bad.
Yeah.
You're not going to be a great UFC fighter if your knees are messed up.
Yeah, part of me thinks that really was more of an insight to what it's like to be a fighter. Like, I think they all got little things going on here and there.
Oh, for sure.
Well, of
dude.
course, any professional athlete does. You're always hurt.
But
or
it's the
you're
kind of
injured,
training that you're doing there. It's so rough on you training. That's why so many people miss fights because they get injured during training camp.
Right.
And you compare that to other major sports, baseball, basketball, football. It's pretty rare, not rare, but it doesn't happen that much where somebody gets injured in practice and then they're out for a while. Where in MMA it happens fucking for every fight card.
All the time, yeah. You get wrong.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited. We did our live UFC viewing party. People loved it. I'm very excited. Are you into baseball at all, Scott?
I watched my son's 5th grade team. That's it.
A lot of money on the line
Yeah,
here?
you throwing down any bets on that?
I would, but they just had their first game and they're not very good. So now I got to figure out a different way to bet. I can't gamble on win-loss.
Yeah, that's
it's gotta be
true.
Like, did the
Money
kid
line.
pee his pants?
Yeah.
In the 3rd inning. I got to bet on stuff like that because
Does that
they're
ever
going to
happen?
lose every game.
Our friend of ours, Jason Galern, has a funny joke about watching his, he has like a 5th grade daughter. And he's like, I'm watching her soccer game. And the coach finally puts my daughter in.
Do the voice, man. Come on.
Dude, so the fucking coach puts my daughter in finally. And I had to go up to the coach and be like, dude, take her out. I got money on this game. She sucks. It's classic.
That's great.
You got to take her
No,
out.
but
She
I'm not a
sucks.
big baseball fan. I'll go to one maybe game a year, whether it's semi-pro or pro, and I enjoy it. But I couldn't sit and watch like season tickets or even 10 games a year. It's just not my sport.
What's
It doesn't
the
interest me
minor
that
league
much.
team down there in San Diego? What is it?
No, he's in Indy. There isn't a minor league
is he?
team right
I
there.
thought he
There's a
was in San
couple
Diego.
right around
Why
there.
Indiana, dude? If you could live anywhere, why Indiana?
He's from San Diego.
3 kids with my first wife in joint custody.
Well, respect
there
that.
it is. All
I
right.
respect that. Well,
They
gotta
go
pull out,
to her
man.
house for a week. They go to my house for a week. They go to her house for a week, and you can't commute to that job.
No.
You cannot.
No.
It's pretty expensive.
Yeah, I was trying it from Kansas because that's where I consider Kansas home.
Uh-huh.
I was trying it for Kansas for a while, and it just got old. I put a lot of miles on my truck, and I ended up realizing I had a house in Kansas and a house in Indiana, and that's just stupid on any list.
yeah. Are you going to get into coaching at all?
No, I've coached my son's 5th grade basketball team, but the coaching thing is that lifestyle is tough, man. They're
I
gone
bet.
just as much as the players, and then when they're home, they're in the office
Working.
way more than the players because you're
Working.
watching film and scouting and all that stuff.
Job security sucks.
I'm a family guy, and if somebody were to offer me a job, I would consider it as being a coach. But most likely, I would choose family over that. I've done it so far, and I've paid millions and millions of dollars to my ex-wife for the luxury of being in my children's life. So I don't think that I'm gonna leave that
Millions
decision
of dollars,
so I can go
dude.
make some money.
And she can't do one layup. She hasn't
Yeah.
boxed out Shaquille O'Neal. What kind of fucking world do we live in?
What about the podcast, Scott? Are you enjoying that? How's that going?
I'm having fun because it's like therapy for me. You guys are sitting around talking about this and that, and it's therapeutic. I know you.
Yeah, it
I
is.
can see the chemistry that you guys have, and it's fun and it's enjoyable, and I get all my brain droppings out. That's a George Carlin term, but
Yeah.
when I'm doing my podcast, I get all my brain droppings out, and it's therapeutic for me to be able to tell stories, and my friends were, they're sitting around, they're like, man, you need to do a podcast. I said, why? It's just my life. And they're like, yeah, but no one gets to know all the stuff that you've lived. You've lived a weird life, man.
Yeah,
You
we
need
all
to share
have.
it with the world. It's interesting. So I've never been that full of myself, but I am now because I'm doing a podcast, and pretty much all I do is talk about myself the whole time.
Right.
When did
How
you
long
real?
you been doing it?
I've got about 15 episodes. I just started 2 months
Yeah.
ago, 3 months ago.
When did
Cool.
you
What's it
realize you had
Planet
Asian
Pollard
fever?
Podcast. It's on iTunes, SoundCloud. My last one was I had Ray Allen on, and
Oh, shit.
the one before that I had Michael Rappaport. So I cover all bases. I don't just talk about sports. I talk about whatever I feel like talking about.
We'll ask.
And it's been fun because I actually did some stand-up comedy recently,
Oh shit!
and that's been fun too.
How'd it
Where?
go? Let's hear one of your
The
jokes.
Crackers here in town. Do you guys know who Chris Porter is?
Yeah,
He's
very
a
well.
good friend of ours.
He's been on the show a bunch.
Chris and I are friends, and he
Oh,
let me
great.
open up for him one night. So
What?
Oh, wow.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
Was he
out here?
counting crows?
No,
It's
not
Black
anymore.
Crowes,
He changed his
idiot.
style. Now he's kind of a hipster douchebag. It's funny. he cut his hair and he's got the thick glasses and tight, skinny jeans. I'm like, dude. I mean, he had style before with the bell bottoms and the long hair.
And the
He looked
boots.
like an old hippie, you know?
Yeah.
Been in
His
Hollywood
corduroy
too long.
jacket. I'm like, that's the guy. Now he's like every other dude that works at Starbucks.
What was your opening joke, dude? What was your opening joke?
What was mine's all height humor, you know, like people when I go out in public, they're like, "Hey, watch your head, big guy." I'm like, I've been tall since I was born. I was 2 feet tall when I was born. I had to duck to get out of my mom. I don't need your help to get through the fucking
I
doorway.
had to duck to get out of my mom is a good joke.
Yeah.
Well, Scott, we appreciate you
Dude, that's
coming
how
on the show, dude. Okay,
Well,
go
I'm
on.
pissing in a bottle, and somebody's like, "Be careful about splashback," and I'm like, "Hey, it's not the first time I fucking pissed in a bottle in a car, motherfucker.
Exactly,
I know how to do it."
Well, Scott, we appreciate you coming on the show. When you're in Los Angeles, we'd love to have you on.
Absolutely.
The Come In studio. We'd love to have you here. And
I would love it. I might be there in next month, but I'm not sure. But if I am, I'll let you guys know.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Love
I
to
would
have
to
you
come
in.
to the studio because then, you know, it's not like I'm in a bed in Melbourne, Australia.
right, right.
Naked.
Better if we were in the same room.
Yeah.
And not with the bear cam.
You would love to lay in a bed with a naked guy, wouldn't you, Scott?
Oh God, no.
No.
Scott,
No.
Dude,
Scott,
he's Mormon. He might
It's
kill you.
Pollard's. It's Planet Pollard, and you can find it all
Planet
over.
Pollard Podcast.
Planet Pollard podcast. It's a wonderful podcast. We appreciate you coming on. You're more. If you have anything you want to push ever, please come back on the show. You were great, man.
Thanks a lot for having
Bye,
me, guys.
Scott.
I
Bye,
appreciate
Scott.
it.
See you,
Hey, brother.
It was
Take
fun.
care. Good luck with your
All right,
family,
guys.
buddy.
Take care, bub. Guys, real quick, if you want to bet on anybody's kids' games, you can go to BetDSI. BetDSI for all your bet needs. That's right. BetDSI. Go to the website, betdsi.com. Use the promo code PUNCH25, and you will get $25 or double whatever deposit you put in. That's right. Double whatever deposit you put in.
A couple people hit some parlays on the UFC fight night the other day. They tweeted at me, so congratulations to that. Thank you for using the code. You can bet on anything,
If you
man.
want to bet on the footy game I'm going to,
Baseball right now, everything. Baseball.
Oh, you're going to a footy game?
I'm going to the footy game. Yeah.
You can
How
bet on
about
Richmond now.
netball?
Versus somebody.
How great is netball? Have you seen any highlights of netball? It's just hot chicks in miniskirts playing basketball. It's so white and it's so great.
It's like ultimate frisbee,
Is that
but
the
with
Iowa
basketball.
Style basketball.
Like
It's
hot
like
chicks.
it's like ultimate frisbee. Ari, you can't move once you get the ball, but with basketball.
Hey,
6 on 6.
Ari, what are your dates out of the gates?
I mean, I'm in Australia for another couple of weeks. Adelaide on Thursday, and then Sydney on Friday, Saturday, and then Brisbane on Tuesday, and then I don't know nothing. It depending on the memorial. I might come home, be in studio if I'm there on a Tuesday. Can pay off these debts.
Have they
That's
said when
about
that
it.
is? Have they said when that is tentatively?
No, they have not.
I haven't sent in that
But that
thing.
will be when I get some hot dogs and come into studio. We can pay off.
That's
the
why
debt
I'm not
finally.
doing it.
I'll do it.
I am going to be June 1st. I'm at Cobb's Comedy Club in San Francisco for the Tinfoil Hat Comedy Night. Myself, Eddie Bravo, Trez Mala, and my man Ryan Davis. Off the Grid. We are doing one show in San Francisco June 1st and then another show June 2nd in Sacramento. Tickets are flying. Please grab them. So what's going on is whoever brings the most people, sells the most tickets, you get to come backstage, smoke weed with Eddie Bravo, do a private podcast, and then I just got hit up by somebody who wants to take the whole show in a limo ride to a weed bar, strip bar. So you will join us. Join us there, and that's all it. And a lot of great. We're editing my special right now, so hopefully that will be done soon.
How's it look?
I love it. I hate looking at myself, but I've seen a little bit.
That room looks great, though, right?
Yeah.
I imagine it would. Yeah.
It's great. I like the faraway shot because I hate looking at myself. But it looks great, and I'm very excited. It's a tiny room. The audio's great, and a lot of big things coming. I can hear some good news coming up on some other stuff. So I'm excited,
Oh.
dude. I'm excited.
I'm going to be at the store this week. We're going to be at Skankfest in July, from what I understand now.
I will not be there.
Oh, okay. And I'm going to be at the Not So Okay Saloon in Westworld, so that can't go wrong. They say I'm a host.
Oh, that's good.
Dude, the host does the most time there. It's a weird club.
They also get killed.
Yeah, they open up with an hour, and then they get killed by the feature.
Have you watched it yet?
That I did.
Westworld?
The black chicken that man, she's so hot to me.
I know. And then when
You
they killed that,
black
Well,
chicks.
dude, you know what? That was she was in this movie with John Bon Jovi in like the mid '90s, and it was one of the first things I recorded on VHS. You know, to like jerk off to. And I think it's just like permanently.
and then they killed
my
that
head.
kid at the end. So spoiler alert. I didn't think they were gonna kill his
the kid
character
who
off.
is the
Wait, has it
really the boss.
Started
Yeah.
yet?
What's that, Ari?
Has the new season started yet?
Last one just came out. First episode was last night.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta get it.
Ooh, yeah. I'm excited.
About what's
So,
happening to you?
Sam is out on Skankfest.
Yeah, I can't make
Oh, you can't make it?
You can't make it, huh?
Yeah. So,
Why?
just can't make it this year.
Just
I'm,
can't.
I'm
huh?
booked out.
What happened?
Just not going to be able to
What'd you
make it.
get?
Well, promote the date that you're doing instead.
I'm going to be with family. It's a family time. It's a
Oh, it's a corporate. Is it a corporate
No, it's
gig?
family. It's
Oh,
I must
okay.
be spending time with family. It's my one time a year I get
No.
Yeah.
One thing we learned about with our guest, by the way, he was great,
Yeah.
is
thank
that
you.
Mormons are fundamentally
He was great. Yeah.
Mormons are fundamentally sound at basketball.
They really are.
Yeah.
Even
His
if they're not
dad,
Mormon.
all of his brothers, and him all played Division I college basketball
crazy.
or higher.
You know how hard that is?
5 people in his family, including himself, played high-level Division I or professionally.
Kansas. I mean, did they win a championship there when he was there?
You know, he said the
No.
farthest he went was the Elite Eight.
They were number 1 the entire season, a one-loss team, and then they got beat by Arizona and like the Elite 8 who went on to win it. That was when like Mike Bibby was there and whatnot.
Did you ever see this video of these
You know what
Mormons
I'd like to ask him?
schooling these guys?
What's
in
that,
basketball?
You know
Ari?
what I'd like to ask him? I also like to ask like, almost all athletes this question. Once they're done, but I couldn't. The connection wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
Once they're done, I love Quells. Like, what's their life? How's their life change after that? Like, you know, when everything you are is a basketball player for fucking 15 years.
Oh, that's a great thing. They say athletes die 2 deaths.
Sounds like once he's done, once he was done, he just started writing checks to his ex-wife.
Yeah. Sounds like he just went out
Oh my god.
banging Asians from that point on. Just banging Asians. I mean, dude, he's 7 foot. These Asians are 5'7", so they're basically wind socks on his dick, right?
Yeah, you got to have like some furniture for that or something, right?
Like,
some
dude,
special...
their vaginas have to be like boas where they just unlock their fucking their jaws and just swallow, right? Right?
the logistics.
Am I
of it.
right?
I don't
Am I
know.
right?
You know,
Am I
it's,
right?
would you want to be that tall?
Yeah. I want to play pro basketball. I want to bang down low. I want to talk mad shit to
sure.
black guys.
I mean, if I was going to be a professional athlete, if I wasn't, it's probably
bad for your
a
health to be
difficult-
that
yeah,
tall.
it's probably rougher life. being
Yeah.
So
Where
tall.
if you could
You
be
have to buy
any position professionally, what would it be? Have we talked about
In
this
the
before?
NBA?
Any position in any sport.
Any sport. Oh.
Oh boy,
Bleh,
Uh,
bleh.
I don't know, man.
Outfielder?
No, I mean you could probably make the most
know.
money with the least amount of work playing baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a grueling
But it's
season. It's a long
every
season.
day,
So much
I know.
time, yeah.
I know.
It's every day.
But it's like it's not like getting your
I mean,
head
but
kicked
it's a
in.
short
or-
amount of time. You get there. Okay, let's say the game's at 7:30. You got to be there at 5:30. You're home by 11.
You're not home. You're on the road all the time.
Oh yeah, you're hanging out with dudes, your friends. You're
Maybe a quarterback.
35, 25 guys in that team. You have a couple good friends of yours.
Kicker. I'd like to be a kicker.
Of all the positions in professional sports,
Kicker's
you
not
choose
bad.
the
No,
Kicker,
I mean,
you're
if you're looking
45
at like
too.
my dream position, like Rasheed Wallace type power forward.
point guard. That's the answer.
He was at the store the other day.
Rasheed Wallace?
He's giant, dude.
He's
Like,
hilarious. He's a
he
funny
is
guy.
giant, dude. I'm
What
like,
was he
dude.
doing?
Did he still
point
have his,
guard
did he
would
still
be
have his-
fun.
Did he still have the part of his hair that changed from a scare?
Yeah. You mean the
the
weird,
scare spot?
the weird
Yeah, he's
gray
got that,
spot? Yeah, for sure, dude.
Point guard would be fun.
Point guard would
I
be
think
fun.
that's the answer, right?
Point guard.
Maybe
would be
golfer.
fun.
Golfer is a good.
Golfer-
If you
golfer.
lose speed at small
Golfer.
forward, you're still okay.
Golfer,
Professional
because you
golfer
can
would
play
be
golf
good,
until
and you
you're
can
like
make a
60.
lot of money.
You
Like-
can play until
and
you're
you can
John
take
Daly
time off.
golfer, where you smoke and drank.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
I mean, that's gonna be any sport.
golf is a good.
You're gonna take
golf
advantage
is a
of
good
all
one.
the fucking fun of it.
How the show's been, Ari? All right. I think we lost him, or that's the longest yawn ever. How are the shows?
Shows are pretty good, man. We added a show in Melbourne. It's been pretty fucking cool, but it's a festival here, so there's a lot of drinking. A lot of drinking.
Oh yeah, you look hungover.
Yeah, no, I didn't drink yesterday, but I went to sleep at like
That's-
11 p.m. yesterday.
Oh, look who's up all so late. 11 p.m. What are you burning the candle both
I'm saying,
ends?
I was just done after that.
You just couldn't do it. A lot of drinking, a lot of boning of these Australian chicks.
Yeah. What about the Australian chicks, Ari? How's that going?
Cool, I got Myanmar that I'm from Myanmar and he's here. No fucking Australian chicks.
Why?
Yeah.
Why? Why?
I don't know. This one chick I was going to, and then we were like texting back and forth all hot. I'm like, this is what I want to do to you. This is what I want to do to you. And then I was like, hey, so do you have anything just so I know? And then she's like, oh, just so you know, I was never going to fuck you. I just wanted to see what you had to say.
Oh.
What? Who does that?
Oh.
That's not nice. Hey,
Hey, real
put
quick.
thumbs down on that.
Oh
shit.
shit! You just got a thumbs down.
Dislike.
You just got a thumbs
Just
down.
like your
Hey,
status.
can you read some of your dirty talk? Do you still have it in your phone? Can you read some?
Oh, please do.
I want to hear some of it.
Please
Hey,
do.
I'm gonna tongue your
All
butt.
right, please read that.
I'm gonna eat like a kosher diner. I'm gonna turn your pussy into some matzo soup.
I hope you like assholes that look like someone stuck a firecracker in a double cheeseburger.
Ari, do you prep a woman if she's going to go back there?
My
Do you do any
love.
kind of prep? Like, do you warn them before they take a look at the Jew clam? as
Hit
you
that,
call it?
baby.
My balls are unnecessarily long, and you're going to get choked.
Who has a long butthole?
He said he had a long butthole.
I think that's what he said. It's hard to hear.
Balls.
Oh, balls.
Oh, a long butthole is a funny fucking visual. Man, she was cool, but she had a long asshole.
Are you a Star Wars fan?
I can't imagine
Man.
how you're gonna spin this into black hookers, but I'm listening.
It's just like,
I've been
I
seeing
appreciate
this ad for the Han Solo movie, and it's really pissing me off.
Why?
Because
Why?
Han Solo's a midget. Like, they made him so fucking small. It doesn't even, like, he comes up to, like, Chewbacca's nuts.
Yeah. Well, Chewbacca's like 7'6" or
Yeah.
whatever.
But still, it's like he's so much smaller than like, Harrison Ford. It's like they didn't
find
even
out.
try.
I think it looks good.
Really?
yeah, the casting these new ones is pretty bad. To get the guy from Girls, who's like a stunning Semitic-looking guy, to be the fucking evil. When he took off his helmet, I mean, I wish the producers, who's the guy from Lost, whatever his name is, who made Lost and made Star Wars,
I don't even
Star
know.
Trek.
Oh, J.J. Abrams.
J.J. Abrams. I wish he could hear in the theaters, just the theater laughing when he this dark moment where he pulls off his helmet, and everyone's like, "That guy's beautiful." What are you talking about?
Yeah. So
Right.
stupid. It's just like, that's just LA. You know who's ran. When you see Magic Mike at the Oscars, you know who runs Hollywood. Fat chicks and gay guys. Am I right, dude? Am I
Yeah.
right? Hey, do you guys remember when Scot Pollard said I really knew my basketball?
I remember when you said the show really knew the basketball.
Actually, I don't remember that because those words were never
I thought he
spoken.
was like, dude, you know your basketball.
You're happy about that, aren't you? Yeah.
I really am
We'll
like,
put that. We'll put that in the intro.
yeah, dude, it was great.
He's giddy.
I am. It's
That's
like,
pretty
because
cool. How'd you guys get him?
they hit us up. They go, hey, man, could you get Scott on your thing? I'm like, maybe.
Who's they?
You know what Diaz is saying from now and more than ever? He goes, publicists are realizing podcasts are a way to promote, so that they're just like,
Yeah.
it's the new media, so they just like go and reach out to them.
Joey Diaz
He
is
said he
in
had
the,
like poison.
Joey Diaz is in the new I'm Dying Up Here, the season premiere of season 2.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, plays a
Comics?
mob,
episodes.
like a mafia guy from Vegas trying to buy out.
The funniest guy on the show plays a
Goldie.
mafia guy. That's too bad.
Yeah,
Why wouldn't he play the
I mean, I would love to see.
Comedian.
Yeah, I
He
would
is
love to see
not.
him as a comic.
Why
Yeah.
can't he be the mafia guy? Why can't he, dude? Why
no,
can't
he did.
Guys, I think we should wrap it up. I think we had a good run.
What's on your phone?
Look, Sam, look at the
Just
monitor.
got Ari on the
Sam,
show.
Sam,
Should
look,
be done.
look.
I know my basketball. I do, man. I really do.
Nice one, Aaron. Nice one.
I really do. I'm so proud of myself. Guys, you really know. Dude, you really know what you're talking about. Did you play?
I think he was actually talking to me, honestly, because I had a little Larry Brown comment, and he was like, you guys are really fucking smart.
No, it was after I said about the kids getting beat up. He was like, fuck, dude, inside info.
Guys, thanks for all your. I see all the tweets. Everybody keeps sending love out to Dennis and Candace.
Oh, yeah.
And the
Hey,
little
congrats,
babies. They're
Candace.
doing good. Everyone's happy. Everyone's healthy. So.
I want to give John Woodard a big shout out for all the hard work he's done on the YouTube channel. Dude, you're crushing it.
Oh, people are watching YouTubes. People are really watching the YouTube stories. I'm really seeing a lot of fucking feedback from that YouTube stuff.
Me too.
Dude, you're doing great on it, even though I hate your titles. Sam gets his ass handed to him by Ari.
That's how you have to do it. People don't read them if you just
Why
put.
is it always going to be negative Sam?
If it's Sam knows his basketball, no one's going to listen to that.
Yes.
Yeah, who wants to see it?
No one will listen to that.
Sam knows
Only
basketball.
you. Only
Sam
you.
really
Yeah,
knows
even for this, it has to be like Sam shows up Scot Pollard with his knowledge of basketball.
Yes.
That's exactly right.
Yes.
That's how you do that, though. Do you
Okay.
want people to watch it or not?
Well, go to youtube.com/Punch Drunk Sports and see all the stuff.
What's YouTube? Punch Drunk Sports or Punch Drunk?
It's Punch Drunk Sports on YouTube.
And then the guys, check out the Patreon. It is rocking. I do some NBA stuff. Ari, like once a year, does some extra stuff. Thibault and I have been doing.
I'm gonna have some footage from the footy game.
Oh, cool.
They explained to me now. It's fucking crazy. Yeah, 3 days ago there was a score tied 73-73 tie game.
Perfect, dude.
You should see.
Wait,
you should go to
that was the final score?
Yeah, Sam, go on your phone real quick. I don't want you.
I'm looking up footy. I'm looking up footies. Footy games.
Yeah,
Footy
right.
games.
You can go to. Can you go to BetDSI and make bets on it? Is it like a professional
Look
league?
at that.
It's a professional. Yeah, for sure.
I wonder if they have bets on stuff like that there.
Oh, look at that.
No, they do.
Look
They
at
have
that.
brackets
That's
people
a
make.
footy game. See,
Is
I
that-
looked it up.
You guys like teabagging that other guy.
Yeah, the
I
guy.
like how Sam, whenever he uses his cell phone for the right thing, he rubs it into everybody.
Yeah.
Like, see, check it out.
I work so
See,
hard.
I told you.
I think you called him out on it, and then he was, I better look up footy right now
Yeah,
and then
that's
show him.
exactly
my
Well,
phone.
I find that to be rude. Guys, great podcast. Thibault, you
are we
crushed
doing
it
here?
today.
Why are you stopping 20 minutes
I gotta
early?
take a break. I gotta take a break.
You
You
can
guys
take a
can
break.
keep going.
Finally got Ari on the
to the
show for the
bathroom.
first time in fucking
What the fuck is
a
going on?
month. A month.
You gotta take a shit.
No,
Leave all your shit, Sam.
So I need a break.
He
Are
can't
you
hear
taking
you.
a break or are you leaving?
He's probably, who knows? Well, maybe we'll.
He's
I
got
was
his-
about to say
he's-
he left his drink.
His-
I was about to say he fucked up with one thing.
Yeah,
Left his
just
drink, but then he got
teabagging.
it.
We left his bag in
Damn it. I
too,
was like,
and the
we
door
can bet.
open. This fucking guy. Ari, I got laid the other night, and guess what? Guess how? Thank you. This girl said the hottest thing that you could say when you're at the club, right? She goes,
What?
my flight leaves at 4 p.m. tomorrow to go back to Philadelphia.
Oh, that's great.
And then you're like,
And so
awesome.
you're like, hello.
Then the plot
We should hang out
thickens.
tonight?
Yeah. Because I didn't even meet her till like 11 when she was already hammered.
Oh,
And I
that's
was
even
like,
better.
It was right after you left,
Where'd
after
you
we did the
fuck? Where'd you fuck?
Patreon.
Oh man, I missed her, huh? That's too bad.
What's that?
Did you take it back to the bag of leaves? Did you take it back to the bag of leaves, or did you go to her place?
Her hotel.
Nice.
Wow, hotel sex.
Why not? Why not,
For
bro?
sure, why not? What do you mean?
She
Of
was
course,
she was like pretty cute too. She's probably like a Philadelphia 8.
Yeah.
Like a vacation situation. What was she?
Yeah, she was out here. Yeah, just out in LA for like 4 or
Just
5 days.
getting some
hanging
dick.
out and
Get some comedy store
one of those.
dick.
It's like at the Comedy Store her last night, and then she's like, "I'm gonna get drunk and laid. Fuck this town." And I'm like, "I'm your Huckleberry."
How was it? Condom or no condom?
Condom, which is always a strike, but not bad. Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Like a lot of good. The fucking around before we're fucking was probably better than the.
And how fast did you get out of there?
I'm still staying there. No,
You just keep going out. Stay for 204, please. Another day? Yeah, another day.
I just have the door.
All right,
I have a wedge in the door. No, like I don't know, the next morning, 10ish,
That's good.
whatever.
Yeah, because she's leaving at 4. You don't even have to get up early. That's
Yeah,
perfect.
exactly. I just got up and bounced.
Cool.
So hey, why not? Why not?
Hey guys, Scot Pollard thinks we know a lot about basketball. I don't know if you heard that, but
I have
Pollard,
heard that.
Okay.
And also thanks again to every. Yeah, go ahead.
Bet on Thibault getting laid. That's Bet DSI. Will you use a condom next time? Odds are 2.4 to 2.1. No.
I will definitely say no. And I didn't even have one, so I thought I was gonna maybe we can just fuck without one. But then she had one.
Oh.
Hey, it's oh really? You're like, oh, I don't have one because I have plenty. You're like, oh, these all have holes popped in them. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, this one just went out the window. Fuck. Thanks to everybody for all the good comments we got from my mom being on last week's episode. It was super fun.
Great.
Afterwards, we went to Jimmy Kimmel.
How was that?
It was super fun. But Don Barris always hooks us up and got her backstage, and we hung out in the green room where it's free food and free drinks, and she got to go on the stage and meet the band that was playing, all that kind of shit.
Which band?
Portugal the Man.
She met the Portugal the Man?
Yeah. Got to hang out with all them. It's super fun. And then Don just sexually harassed my mom, but my mom was so proud because she made Don laugh.
That photo's great. Let me see if I can.
Because we're walking by the crew and the staff, and Don's zinging my mom, and he goes, "Hey," to the staff. He goes, "Don't talk to her. She's married, or she's mine." And my mom goes, "Quit cock blocking me, Barris." He laughed at that. She thought that was pretty cool. She's like, "I made Don Barris laugh."
Here's a photo.
So thanks everybody for your nice comments. Next time she's back, she'll be here.
You said Zlatan Ibrahimovic was the guest, right? You said he was pretty funny.
Very funny. That soccer player,
Yeah.
Zlatan or whatever his name is.
Zlatan Ibrahimovic, yeah.
Really funny. And then one point in time when you're there, you can tell, really confident, super funny guy. You can tell he's just super confident. And almost to the point of being funny. Almost like how Robert Downey Jr. is in the Iron Man movies. He's almost
it's kind of like a joke.
confident. Yeah. And one point in time, but when you're in the green room, you can see, you're watching on the screens. It doesn't go to commercial. You're actually watching what's happening in the
I got you.
So a lot of times that's when Jim would be like, "Hey, Denver. Hi, Carol and Sam." Next, all the news clips where he actually knows the people's first names for the TV affiliates around the country.
Oh, okay.
He'll knock out 10 of those in between, while we're at commercial.
Wow, that's
break.
really efficient.
Really efficient.
Yeah.
They got it down to a science.
Oh, wow.
So they're not even just sitting there commercial breaks. They're getting shit done.
While the commercial breaks are there, he's they'll knock out a bunch of those. And then, so one time he fucked it up, and Kimmel goes, I fucked that up. And he goes, let's do it again. And then that Zoltan guy, he goes, "You want me to do it for you?" And then everybody laughed and applauded because he was already so cocky. It was pretty funny. "You want me to do it for you?"
He's an old pro at that by now, right?
Yeah, it's like an old Magic Johnson, it seems like. Came to LA, here at 36 or 37 to be like, "I'll come out there."
Oh, I met Kimmel at that job by now. I mean,
Kimmel's
it's
great at it.
I mean, he's
great at that job.
I love how when those guys come to America, cricket players or soccer players, and they're massive around the world, and they come here and they're basically nobodies. And I was almost feeling like, "Oh, you should invite him to the podcast." And then you're like, "Oh no, he's one of the biggest stars in the world."
Yeah.
And that's what he was kind of talking about. He's like, around the world, what you call soccer is we're all bigger than LeBron James. I mean, richer and bigger.
Yeah.
Globally, except for here. So I come here and it's I almost kind of have some anonymity except for the major soccer fans. But, when you get to go do that and hang out with Don, and thanks Don Barris for allowing me to do that, you kind of go through this back alley and you come in through there. And that's where the talent, the guests or the band and all that will come in that way. So, but when we walked out of there, the line of people that they had fenced off for him to sign things was huge.
Really?
Portugal the Man,
Wow.
Nobody. LL Cool J was the other guest, nobody. Maybe 100 people, all in his jerseys or with soccer balls and Sharpies, waiting for him to walk by.
A lot of Mexicans
he's a
here
pretty
that
big
watch soccer too.
Exactly, it's a big soccer town, and all of them were either of his country or of his. They all had his professional jersey on, or they were Mexican.
He's Swedish,
but
right?
they were all. He is Swedish, yeah, or Netherlands, I think.
No, I think he's Swedish.
Is he? He is Swedish. You're right. He's Swedish. But a huge line of people. So he is popular. It's just, we don't know a lot about soccer unless you follow it out here.
Very few people do.
All right. So you haven't heard anything about.
It's just not a big sport here. It just never got to the point where they wanted it to.
It's getting there.
Well,
It'll
they
take a
fucked
while.
themselves, dude. They didn't make the World Cup. I mean,
the World Cup when fucking the women won in '92.
Not making the World Cup really fucked it. Really
brutal.
Fucked it.
They didn't make it this year.
Yeah, they didn't make it, dude. Terrible.
Oh, after getting through that fucking bracket of death last time.
That's right. Yeah, they didn't
Which
make
is
it.
probably great because this year's in Moscow, right? Oh, that won't be rigged at all. That sounds like a real safe place to go use your cell phone. As an American.
Dude, that's shit where they're gonna put fucking like poison on your doorknob and just have you.
Their Olympic team couldn't even technically compete for a medal because they were breaking so many rules and laws. And now we're gonna have the World Cup in Moscow? Huh. Okay.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia.
All right, when are you back, buddy? It just depends on the service.
Really, I'm planning on coming back for the memorial whenever it is. Congratulations to Cum Slut and Janice on their new baby. But like whenever the memorial is, that's when I'll be back. So after Brisbane, what I'm planning on doing is going to Cairns and then going scuba diving for a few days in the Great Barrier Reef, and then I was gonna maybe go to Singapore for a few days and then come back and stop by LA. But it depends when this memorial is.
Yeah. But you're definitely gonna go to that.
I'm lucky. I thought it was.
Hey, all right, don't tell Sam because he won't come because he thinks you're gonna pressure him to do the bet. So don't tell him. Just drop in. Don't tell him when you're gonna be here because I don't think he'll pop in. He's really worried about this.
He'll just not show up.
Yeah,
He'll just not show up.
Yeah, so don't tell him.
How's he gonna feel? I've already seen fans. I'm not posting him yet because he hasn't officially Welsh yet. So I'm not posting, but these fans they're gonna go crazy.
He's gonna block them all, dude. He's already blocked. You have no idea how many people.
But they're gonna make stuff. I've seen this guy put a hot dog container, but it's just Sam Tripoli's Welch's, and then it's like, it's just like but it's like he hasn't done it yet, so I won't post this stuff. But like the flood of stuff that's gonna come in.
Well, you
just not
see,
gonna be good for him.
You not posting the stuff, I think makes him think
like,
he's getting away with it, though. I think he thinks he's getting away with it because you're not like pressuring him.
Right.
I really do. Anyway, so he's out on Skankfest. He says the Ellis Mania is the end of September. If you can do that.
Why can't do Skankfest? It's definitely not his family. What do you think guys think it is?
Oh, dude, it's this bet, of course.
Oh, is that what's up?
Oh, really?
Yeah, of course it is.
Interesting.
Don't you think?
I mean, I'll come. I'll do it with.
Because he seemed like he was into it.
We can do Ari and I can do a punch drunk without him.
That form's due today.
He was into it. What happened?
I think he thought that he might have to stick a hot dog in his ass.
Because he's like family. I'm like, oh, what are you doing with your family? He's like, just family stuff. I'm like, that's weird. That's it. What? You wouldn't just say like a wedding or a reunion or something? Like,
yeah.
You don't have any extra details, do you? Because you're just making it up.
Yeah. Yeah, he looked at me like he wanted to stab me.
For a long time.
I think he's done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's done. Wait, so you agree he does not have a family thing going on?
Oh, of course not.
I have no idea. This is the first I heard that he wasn't going.
No.
I thought we were going to do Skankfest. Why wouldn't we? It would be a good way to fucking market ourselves to a new audience base.
I'll talk to him after. That form's due today.
In New York too.
What?
That form is due today.
Yeah.
What did you say, robot?
Nope.
That form is what?
The form, the deadline for
submitting.
Yeah, for submitting is today. I don't know if that's a hard deadline or whatever. Committing to it. Yeah.
Why won't Sam do it? It's fucking strange.
Dude, he doesn't want to stick a hot dog in his ass. That's almost certainly why.
I kind of do. I feel like I practiced all those months for nothing.
Why don't you be like his Jesus Christ? You know, just take his sins on and stick the hot dog up your ass.
Oh, I could get like stigmata with hot dogs through my hands. You can nail me to a wall with fucking dogs.
Oh, I can't believe he's not gonna do. That's correct. I mean, it's when a push comes to shove. It's like you have to. I couldn't imagine not going through with it.
Maybe if you guys clean up those other bets first, it'll put more pressure on him. But I really don't think.
Yeah, but I mean, he can. That's always his go-to argument. Ours are relatively easy to do.
Yeah, but if you do them though, then his go-to argument is toast. I mean, he's done.
My training one takes a lot.
I won't be able to get it before I'm in LA, but
you could do it here. We get it on video.
Yeah, me begging. I can get the begging done. It's like I only have a couple days in LA, but yeah, I can do it. I get the begging done. There's no video for the begging. Because that's gonna take me fucking days.
I still want. Let me get some shots from across the street or something. That would be great.
Yeah. I'll let you get some shots, but like it's gonna take me a long time. The USA thing. I'm gonna try to get a video of it. Like my plan is to get on the subway. I'll be like, they got Assad. Assad got killed, everybody. And then just start the USA. Or have my friend go, Assad got killed.
ISIS surrendered,
go, from USA. And then have someone else way on the other side of the subway ready for the whole thing.
Good plan.
I mean,
but if I see an opportunity to go for it and there's no video, I'm just going for it.
You can argue that two of us, you and I, the bets that we have lingering, we could both go to jail. Like, it'd be funny if Ari's doing the homeless one and I call the cops on him. I'm like, there's this fucking homeless guy outside harassing people. But I could very well go to jail for my tranny one. They could really think I'm like being a hooker. Or I could get beat up by trannies.
In certain states, you could get arrested for the hot dog thing, too.
Not this one.
Not this one.
What, like Utah?
No, not LA.
I mean, yeah, probably Georgia.
Georgia, yeah.
Aaron, who's after us? Oh, it's already 5. See?
It's tinfoil, of course.
No wonder.
Oh, that's why
now
he
the
left.
plot
That's
thickens.
why he left.
That's why, because he has a podcast he
wanted
cares
to just
about.
work.
He has a podcast that he cares about coming up. All
Dude,
right.
I wish we could like have a mobile thing so we could be like, hey, let's go outside and just look at Sam fucking talking to somebody outside. Just like, hey, how's the bathroom going?
Let me go see what he's doing.
Yeah, well, we got to wrap up anyway because it's pretty much 5. Ari, I miss you, buddy. I can't wait till you're back in town. It'll be good to see you. Are you on next week,
Sure.
Ari? Are you on next Tuesday's episode?
Yes, but I'll be. Let's hold on. Let me open my calendar here. Brisbane night. Yeah, 4 a.m. Yeah, okay.
Okay, rad.
Yeah, I'll wake up.
Not sure who our guest will be, but that'll be cool. As always, go to betdsi.com. Use the code PUNCH25. Please peruse our friends at SeatGeek.com or get the app. Use the code PUNCHDRUNK there. That gets you $20 off of any tickets that you purchase. And as always, thank you to everybody. Good luck to Fight Nanny. And Aaron, thank you. Suck it.